Oh yeah, you guys. I hope you guys really like that song. It's by, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Ramses B. I'm not entirely sure. I have to find one more thing before we start, and it's only because I kind of promised my wife I would. And that's going to sound weird until you see it, but we had a Halloween party thing for my son. And it's, you have parties, you go to, daycares and parties and whatever. Well, this time it's a Halloween party. And I think as soon as I start this up here, I'm trying to do a couple of last things really quick. And then we can get started. I just have to get a stable build for the start. And I'll tell you more about that in a second. But for now, hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Incredible. Okay, so Halloween party, right? We all had to dress up, and I went as Mr. Incredible. My wife went as Elastigirl, and my little son is Jack Jack. So we did that. It was fun, and everyone can see me. Look, I fulfilled my promise. I am now live on camera with my costume on. So there we are. Come and say hi. See? Elastigirl right here. Okay, I can't see out of that mask very well, so I'm going to take it off for the stream. And I'm going to put these headphones on because it's kind of required.
Dorky Incredibles.
And I look dorky Incredibles, I know. Okay, so here's how you have to play this because it's just kind of the way it is. I'm going to boot the game up, but it might crash initially. And don't get discouraged if it does, but it might crash initially. And the reason for that is because I have a heavily modded game. Oh man, my eyes are watering just by having that mask on. I have a heavily modded game, and when you have a heavily modded game of Skyrim, the intro, the opening scene, can sometimes mess up on you. So I need to make sure that doesn't happen, and the only way to make sure that doesn't happen is to kind of disable some of your mods, disable the script-heavy ones and stuff. So I'm doing that right now. And this is going to start pretty quick. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you with me. I am missing one mod, so I do have to activate this one, though. It's a requirement. Where is it? Where is it? Must be started. It must be active at the beginning. It has to be. I'm going to type it in. Original. There it is. Okay. If you are interested at any point of the mods we're using, link in the description down below should take you to a page. Oh, actually, that description needs updated. So before I start, because people are going to start coming in and they're going to be looking for this, and it's not going to be the right link, and I need it to be the right link, so we're going to do that. Plus, I'm giving you guys more time to see my muscly buff self. So there's that. Throughout the duration of the stream, I am not going to have the camera on. So this is going to be sort of immersive. We're talking about a character. We're trying to build a story and build a character. And so it's not about me and my camera. It's about the game itself. So that's how we're going to play it. But for now, while we're at the final bits of setup, welcome, guys. We're about ready to start, I swear. I just have to update the description of the stream so that, you guys can have the right links in the description. That's an important thing, right? Let's see. Come down here. Did you guys get a screenshot of that? You could still get one. It's not too late. There you go. You can get it right now. Here we go. Voting time. No, we're not voting anymore. The input is done. Voting is done. Mod list is here. Oh, the voting was so close. Oh, it's so hard to tell. I'm gonna do majority rules, but knowing that 42% of the people, well, okay, technically like 60% of the people didn't want this choice. Like 70% of the people didn't want this choice, but that's how it works when you have majority rules and there's like 6 options for each category. That's just kind of how it works. The majority of the people voted for something else other than what you get, but it's majority rules in this. Whoever has the most votes wins, and that's how we're going to do this for the votes. So the voting is done. There is no more voting. I'm going to turn my mic up just a little bit because I am moving my microphone a little bit further away from my face. Okay. So I think this is ready. I hope this is ready. Yeah, I'm gonna hope that this is ready. So we're gonna have to start the game 3 times to get things rolling. But I'll tell you why every single time as we go. So let's go ahead and boot the game, and we'll get into this, and you'll see what it is. I'm going to make my camera a bit smaller because it's required just for the intro, and then we'll be good to go. Voter fraud, Charlie. It's rigged. It's not voter fraud. It's not rigged. This is not random number generator. This is you guys. I had a total of 77 people. 77 submissions. But I mean, I had 84 emails, but some of you submitted twice. I don't know if the website bugged out on you. Sorry, I did get all your submissions. I was able to match them to the same email address, which is why I wanted the email address on there to prevent duplicate votes. And so if you did submit twice, whether the first time messed up for you or something, if you ended up submitting twice, I did get both of them, but I was able to determine, what's good and what's not. So that's good. Okay, we're getting into the game. I am going to delete all of these because these are all my testing. Is my mod list stable testing runs? Oh yes, I have been testing this for so long. Over the course of the last 10 days, not 10 days, 2 weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, I have put about 30 hours into mods. Into testing mods, into gathering mods, into researching mods, into trying to figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work, how to get them to work together, what's this conflict, why am I getting a crash to desktop, all this stuff. And I've come up with what I believe to be a kick-ass, very immersive, complete overhaul of Skyrim that will present us with the best possibility for a really immersive and great story while providing better visuals than the special edition. Way better visuals. I'm going to turn my mic down. It seems I'm too loud. Way better visuals than the special edition. And, if I did it right anyway, stable. But in order to get that stability, we will have to do this in steps. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, without further ado, I'm ready. I'm hoping you guys are. I'm going to take the camera away now because the camera's not going to be in here for this. And you guys can enjoy the story and all the changes. If you're new to Skyrim, this will be new. If you're a veteran to Skyrim but you've never played modded, this intro will also be new. Yeah, we're overhauling everything, baby. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to start the recorder as well. And hopefully my game doesn't crash by doing that. Let's hope not. Whew. All right, camera off. Turn the sound up on the game. Let's get this over with. Let's do this. Skyrim Democracy Series Stream 1 starts now.
Hey you! You're finally awake. Guard sure worked you over.
I told those Imperial soldiers you weren't with us, but they just grabbed you, like that thief over there. You stand with us, or you stand against us. We're all brothers and sisters in minds now, thief.
Shut up back there.
Wait, who's that gagged fellow in the cart? He looks familiar.
Watch your tongue. You're speaking to Ulfric Stormcloak, the true High King.
That's the man who used the voice to murder High King Torrig, the leader of the rebellion? Hey, you! Ulfric! You traitor! You're the reason we're here!
At least Sovngarde will be waiting for us. Our ancestors, feasting. Mead.
God, what I wouldn't give for some mead right now. What brings you into the cold grip of the Empire, anyway? I know you're not one of the rebels.
What hold are you from, horse thief? Whiterun? The Reach? Offengar?
Why do you care?
because there won't be any holds once the Empire has its way. No Jarls to rule over them. Just Legion soldiers and martial law. Every man, woman, and child in Skyrim is part of this rebellion, horse thief. Everyone has to fight for the freedom of the Nine Holds.
Freedom of the Nine Holds? I don't remember the Empire sweeping up every cut purse in Skyrim before you bastards started butchering their soldiers.
General Talia, sir. The headsman is waiting.
Look at him.
There's one thing I need to do here, and I totally forgot to do it in the intro, and I didn't want to interrupt it, and that is turn on the subtitles, because I know some people maybe can't hear it, so I'm going to do that. I should have had that done already. Sorry about that. I think it's gameplay. At least I thought it was in gameplay. Oh, here it is. Yeah, we're going to turn all these subtitles on so you guys can hear things a little easier. Sorry about that.
General Tully is the military governor. And it looks like the Dalmor are with him. Damn elves. I bet they had something to do with this.
General Talia, stop. By the authority of the Dalmor, I'm taking custody of these prisoners.
I'm sorry, that's just not possible. It would cause far too many problems.
You're making a terrible mistake. Your Emperor will hear of this. By the terms of the White Gold Concordat, I operate with full Imperial authority.
Dalmor, bitch. This is Helgen. I used to be sweet on a girl from here. Wonder if Vilod is still making that mead with juniper berries mixed in. Funny, when I was a boy, Imperial walls and towers used to make me feel so safe.
Who are they, Daddy? Where are they going?
To go inside.
Why? I want to watch the soldiers.
Inside the house. Now.
Yes, Papa.
Get these prisoners out of the court. Move it!
Why are we stopping?
Why do you think? End of the line. Let's go. Shouldn't keep the gods waiting for us.
No, wait, we're not rebels. You gotta tell them
Face
we
your
weren't
death
with
with
you.
some courage.
This is a
Steve.
mistake.
Shut up. Out of the court now. Step towards the block when we call your name. Don't even think about running.
Empire loves their damn lists.
Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm, guilty of murder, high treason, sentenced to death.
It has been an honor, Jarl Ulfric.
Next in line. Name?
Ralof, proud son of Skyrim.
Stormcloak, sentenced to death. Next in line. Name?
Lokir, and I'm not a Stormcloak.
It says right here you are. Sorry.
No, please, all I did was steal a horse. I'm not a rebel. You can't...
Anyone else feel like running?
Next in line. Name?
Okay, guys, so here we are. I know there's a difference between my voice volume and the game. I'm trying to adjust that right now, sorry. Okay, so welcome to our character collection, our character creation screen. The only mods I have active right now are a couple of graphical things, which if you couldn't tell by the slightly pink or purple fog, I actually forgot one, so there's no textures for the fog. Sorry about that. We will get that corrected when we start the game next time. So this is where we're going to create our character. I've done very little playing around with this because it's a brand new character creation setting. There's a lot of different options for the races, but I am going to go through sort of why I'm going to choose certain things, okay? So we're going to zoom out really quick. The first thing I'm going to change, by a vote of 65%, we're going to change to female. Our character is a woman. Now, for the next preset, I'm going to skip all this stuff for a second, and we're going to come over to race, and we're going to have to choose our race. Now, by default, you're a Nord. Nords didn't win the vote. It was a very close race. We were very, very close race. Like, I'm talking 35% to 38%. That's pretty close. But it is what it is. Majority rules. We're going to be a Breton. And the reason we're going to be a Breton, I think, had a lot to do with magic. We have a lot of mods that pertain to magic. We have a lot of playstyle requests that have lots of magic in them, including illusion and conjuration is two big ones that people wanted. Surprisingly, not a whole lot of people chose destruction, which I guess that's because most people who do magic in Skyrim do it with destruction. So we'll probably be doing a little bit of variety with our combat and our combat styles and stuff. So it's pretty good. I'm gonna go back to all, and I don't really have like enough information to go on as far as our appearance, but I will say that we're supposed to have a small scar. It seems to me like most people wanted there to be some sort of a scar. So let's put, how about this one? Is this good? You know what? That'll work just fine. I think it's a small scar. I think it's pretty good. I think that'll work. Now for appearance, the one that was in second place in the votes was Khajiit. It was very close. I thought we were going to have a female Khajiit. I was like, this will be interesting. I never played a female Khajiit before. I've actually never played a female character before. So this will be interesting there as well. I have played Breton before. I only played it till, I think I put 10 hours into that playthrough, so I haven't played much of it. So this will be interesting. We also have perk overhauls and a whole bunch of other things that are going to dramatically sort of change how everything is with our game. So it's not going to be the typical Breton anyway. So let's check out a few presets and see if we can find something that we might be happy with here. I don't know. I'd like to... Can I do this with the arrow keys? I can. Okay. What can we do here? I don't know. What do we think, guys? She looks pretty fierce. She looks like she's had a rough go. I don't know. Let's see what you guys think. Again, this is a democracy series. We are taking votes. So in the stream chat, let me know what you think. Color of hair, shade of skin, all sorts of stuff. Estimated age. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Let me know. This one doesn't look half bad. Now remember our backstory. If you haven't seen the backstory yet, you probably aren't familiar with sort of what our character's been through. But essentially, if I wanted to summarize the backstory, and it's a heavy summarization, you'd really do better with you would really do better with reading the story for yourself. But just as a what it is. She's had a pretty rough life. She grew up on a farm. She's fairly poor. She's had kind of a rough go. Her father was a thief. Her father was arrested for numerous crimes and eventually put to death. She learned a lot of skills from her father and her mother growing up. Her father was killed when she was about 8 years old. Throughout the course of the next few years, her village that she lived at, which was all part of the backstory, it was sort of left vague, so any race it could kind of qualify, or it could sort of fit any race. Throughout the course of this, her entire village came down with some big plague. For whatever reason, she did not get sick, but her mother and her sister did. Eventually, her mother would die from that, and she would eventually go out. She had learned quite a bit from school, from teaching, from a whole bunch of other things on how to do some basic remedies, some basic medicines, and using that knowledge, she managed to conjure up something to give her sister to keep her alive long enough. There was a high elf that came to the village. He tried to cure everyone with magic. It was very fascinating to her. She had never really seen a whole lot of magic in her life. Her father and her parents sort of kept her away from that. And in the end, she was fascinated with it, but she had no idea what was happening. The high elf was not able to cure anyone with it, and he left. Eventually, and again, this is a heavy summarization, eventually her sister would live. They would make their way out of the village. They would go from town to town, near their hometown, searching for food, trying to find work, trying to make a living without their parents around anymore. And late in her teens, they managed to decide to come to Skyrim. And, long story short, they ran into a battle shortly after entering Skyrim's borders. They ran into this big ambush, this big battle where the Imperials and Stormcloaks, of course, she had no idea what was going on with that battle. And they managed to get into a big skirmish. There was arrows flying everywhere. Her sister was hit with an arrow and killed. And throughout the course of her rage and trying to sort of, she lost it. She's had one of the hardest lives she could have imagined. And throughout the course of this trauma of finally losing her sister, her last living relative, she kind of flipped out, lost it, tried to attack some soldiers, but ended up getting captured. And so here she is. So that is the backstory, very highly summarized. If you want to know more about it, if you want to read the whole thing in full, link in the description down below. So I'm going to go ahead. I gave you guys some time to put in your votes here. It looks like we have green eyes, dark hair. Okay, green eyes and dark hair seems to be the vote so far. So let's see if we can't pull that off here. Let's see. I'm going to leave skin tone. This isn't that dark of hair, but maybe we can do like darker hair like this. Maybe that's not bad. Huh? What do you think? I also think maybe a little bit of war paint might be cool. I think I'm going to take a little bit of executive liberty and put this little symbol right here on her eye. I kind of like this look. I had this in a previous play when I was playing a Breton before on a man, and it kind of looks nice on a woman too. And it's just really faint. It's not very obvious, but it's just something there. And it might be like we could think of it like something that people from her village did, like rites of adulthood or something, It might be kind of interesting to kind of go off that level. We're looking for darker hair. Okay, darker hair. Let's see if we can... wow, they don't really go from lightest to darkest on the scroll wheel, do they? Okay, what about... what about that? Is that good color? It's pretty dark. I don't think it gets much darker than that. What about hairstyle? Can we go should we go longer, shorter? I don't know. What do you guys think? Longer, shorter? Just go with preset 7, Charlie. I don't know if preset 7 is the same as... I might save this. Let's save this as a preset for a second. Let's see. F5. Yeah, we'll save this as a preset. We'll just call this first go, I guess. Let's hit accept. Okay, so we should have a preset saved. I think that's how that works. We have a whole bunch of mods installed, but they're not... Whoa, I'm not done yet. What are you doing? Go back. Oh, okay, here it is. Okay, still going back to the comments. Again, now this is the part where the Democracy Series does go a little slower for people who aren't participating, but don't worry. When the official episodes are uploaded later, most of the stuff gets skipped. We're going to edit a video together, and the people who watch this afterwards don't necessarily need to watch all this stuff. But while we're having our democracy, we are making decisions, and this first episode is probably going to be the slowest of all of them, just because we are going to get through the character creation process, and also get the mods configured and all that stuff. So, all right. So I need Apache Sky Hair. Well, I was gonna have Apache Sky Hair. I had Apache Sky Hair for the longest time, but Apache Sky Hair just wasn't doing things enough for. It does two things. One, it doesn't do it enough to all of the NPCs. It only does it to a few, and myself, and I didn't like that. And the second thing is that it was interfering with my total facial overhaul for everyone. And this is the same reason why I don't have RS Children. RS Children crashes the game immediately. It just, as soon as you load the file, it crashes because it interferes with the total facial overhaul I have installed, which affects all races, everyone, all over the place. And I'd rather have that total overhaul than specific mods that target little pieces. So that's what I've got. All right, we're making Skyrim great again. Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet. This is mostly vanilla graphics behind her. You haven't seen anything yet. Okay, so it sounds like you guys are good with the hair color, so that's good. So I'm gonna make maybe a little bit of decisions here on style, unless you guys don't like it. I'm thinking she's got shorter hair. I don't know. She strikes me as somebody who maybe has shorter hair. What about something like maybe that's too short. I don't know. Maybe it's too short, but maybe it looks good. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is the color good still? The style look good still? I think it's okay. Okay, so I think we're good. Don't have any objections so far in the comments. I do have, there is going to be a delay just because it takes a while for my signal to get to you in code. So I don't have a delay put on the stream, but there's a natural delay of about 15-20 seconds from the time I talk. So I am gonna have to take a little bit. Okay, now you guys said green eyes, so we do have to change the eye color. So let's go with, ooh, there's green. Yeah, that's green. Okay. Got the green eyes. They're in place. Unless you want to get greener. I don't know if they get greener than that. Do they get greener? That's the wrong one. Which one was I on? Was it this one? I think it was that one before. I don't think it gets any greener than we had. Yeah, that's as green as we go. Yep. Now hair color, we can actually we can change hair color even more defined. I can click this little button here, and we can get a really good look at the hair color. We can go really, well, we can have a lot more control over it. So looks like this. What's this one? Okay, so we're changing colors up here. I don't know why it's not appearing. I think it's because I'm missing one mod. I think it's because I'm missing a mod, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, we'll leave it the way it is. So you guys like this? Is it good? Very civil, agreeable. Hair 20 and that color. Hair 20, you said. Okay, hair 20. Right now we're on 20. Oh, we're on 20. Okay, good. Hair 20. Yep. Everyone seems to be good with this. Okay. Now, do we like the face? I think she's pretty. I don't know if that's what we're going for, but I think it looks good. No? Agreeable, right? We can relate to this person, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't have any of those flashy. If you guys might be expecting, you know, female body overhauls and all these, you know, skimpy outfits and stuff. So many YouTubers do that. So many people are doing that. If you want that stuff, go watch them. I'm not doing that stuff. I want to relate to the characters and stuff, and you just don't do that. We don't role play something that's somewhat realistic by having her scale a mountain in a bikini. We're just not going to do that. So I think this will work. I think this is going to work. I don't think I need to really change anything else. I'm not really interested in getting too in-depth with this. So I think she's okay just the way she is, you know? Complexion, maybe there's something we can do with the complexion. I don't know. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. Complexion is... Well, this looks like she's had a hard life. This gives her some freckles. Do we like freckles? I don't know. Do we like freckles? Comments. This is the whole part of the democracy. We'll see. This is a kind of an interesting concept, asking people to design a character, but it's kind of what it is. Looks great. Hurley. Yep, that's what I was talking about. Ta-da's. No, we're not doing that in this one. If you like that, go to another playthrough. I think this is good. I don't know if I like the freckles. Yes or no on the freckles. We can get rid of them. We can keep them. Kind of up to you. So far, this is her. I think she looks all right. She's fairly thin. I would think since she's had trouble getting food, she would probably be pretty thin. So maybe we go 0.3 on the weight, because she's had a lot of hard times getting food. I don't think she'd be very big just because of the lack of nutrition. Lip color, we could probably adjust that if we want to. I don't want her to wear lipstick. What's this one look like? She kind of looks like maybe they're cold. Could be a little cold. I kind of like this one. There's a little bit more depth to it. I kind of like that one. I like faint freckles. Keep the freckles. Okay, we're keeping the freckles. So I think this is it. Any other changes we need to make? Comments down below. Take it or leave it. We have head, body. We have all these different configurations we can do. We also have some other things we can do. Face, eyes, brow, mouth, hair. Extra. There's nothing there. Expressions, colors. We can do war paint colors, makeup, body paint. Yeah, I'm missing a mod. I thought I activated everything I needed for the start, but that's okay. I think she looks good the way it is. Apparently I'm missing two. I don't think I have race menu active, but for some reason it's in the bashed patch, so that's probably why. And then why I have these options. And then I'm also missing the volumetric fog and vivid weathers and stuff to be installed, so that's why we have purple fog. All right, cool. So I think we're good. Is that good? Everybody's good with this? Scars? We do have some scars on the side, didn't we? Oh, wait, they're gone. Oh, what happened? Bring them back. Yeah, we had those. Okay. Yeah, we had those. I think those are fine. Another one I kind of liked for scars. I don't like them like really big, but again, that's not really totally my call. But I don't like them super big. But there was another bit of scars I liked, and it was this one. You can barely see it with the freckles now, but it actually puts some scars like right by her eye, like she got scratched by a tiger or a cat or something. Yeah, that's not really. That's like a small cat. This one here is more like a bigger cat, or like this one would be a bigger cat, but it's kind of up to you guys. So. All right, looks good here. I keep getting asked about makeup. First off, I don't think she would wear makeup just because like her character background just doesn't coincide with makeup and having it all the time. Secondly, it's Skyrim. Did they have a whole lot of makeup back then for people who were poor? I don't know if they did. But and third, she's been captured and she's been on a cart and she's been on the run for several days. I don't know if she would have makeup. We can, however, just so you know, we can go back to this later. We can adjust her look after the fact, I think. I say this confidently and then I follow it up with I think. So it is. I'm pretty sure we can though. We're not going to add a clown mask. I think we're good. So we're going to go ahead and name her. Now, for the name, this is something I didn't ask everyone to put in because there's just too many names to choose from. I'm going to choose the name. And I've decided I'm not going to stick to like any regular Breton names or anything like that, or I'm not going to like look up the most popular names in High Rock. I'm going to choose a name that is a little more personal, and it's a name that my wife and I hope to name our daughter when we have a daughter, because we're hoping to have a daughter next, and just because we already have a son, having one of each, I think that's probably a pretty cool thing. It's not like we're not going to love another son or anything, but the goal is to have a daughter next. And I'm going to name her Hana. H-A-N-A, just Hana. So, and you know what? And we're barely ever going to see this name. You don't hardly ever see your own name. At least it's not really a prominent part of the game. So, you know, imagine her name as anything you'd like it to be. You know, this is our character, not just mine. This, I'm telling you what, this Incredibles outfit here that I'm wearing for Halloween. Those of you who watched the stream and not the video at the end, because I edited this part out of the video. I'm going to edit most of this stuff out of the video probably. Oh man, this Incredibles outfit I'm wearing is really, really hot. Anyway, so here we go. That's our name. Let's continue the story.
You're from Daggerfall, Britain? Fleeing from some court intrigue? Captain, what should we do? She's not on the list.
Forget the list. She goes to the block.
By your orders, Captain. I'm sorry. We'll make sure your remains are returned to High Rock. Follow the captain, prisoner.
I keep forgetting I turned my microphone off. I wanna change something really quick because the speech seems really quiet to me, and I want to turn it up. It looks like the voice is all the way up, so I think it's mostly his voice, the custom voice that's been put on Hadvar for this mod. I think that's mostly it, but everything else needs to be turned down as well. So the ambience is gonna get turned down. Waterfalls and rapids gets turned down, and then when we activate the other mods afterwards, there's going to be a lot more sound settings. But for now, I mean, I have the voice turned all the way up, so I'm sorry if you guys can't hear it. Skyrim is also turned all the way up on my streamer as well, so I can't turn it up anymore. So it is what it is, sorry. Okay.
Ulfric Stormcloak. Some here in Helgen call you a hero, but a hero doesn't use a power like the voice to murder his king and usurp his throne. You started this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos, and now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
What was that?
It's nothing. Carry on.
Yes, General Tullius. Give them their last rites.
As we commend your souls to Aetherius, blessings of the 8 divines upon
For the love of Talos, shut up and let's get this over with.
Learn.
As you wish.
Come on! I haven't got all morning. My ancestors are smiling at me, Imperials. Can you say the same?
You Imperial bastards!
Justice!
Death to the Stormcloaks!
As fearless in death as he was in life.
Next, the Breton!
There it is again. Did you not hear that?
I said, next prisoner!
To the block, prisoner. Nice and easy. Sorry you got caught on the use of this.
What in oblivion is that?
Sentries, what do you see?
What's happening? Dragon! It's a dragon! Gods help us! It's the end times! The end! Don't just stand there! Kill that thing! Guards, get the battle! Someone get the battle mages out here! Now!
What is that thing? Could the legends be true?
Legends don't burn down villages.
Who's this? One of the other prisoners. Empire thought she was dust.
Well, friend, I'd ask you to join the rebellion, but I think we're all a bit busy staying alive. We need to move, now!
Up through the tower! Let's go! Come on with me!
Poor dude. Chance. See the inn on the other side. Jump through the roof and keep going. Alfred, we'll have to hold out here. Our friend's going to try and make the jump to the building next door.
Get up, Papa, get up!
Run for it! What are you doing? Get off the road! Get off the road, boy!
That's it, son.
Get up!
Make me proud.
Some of the parts in this.
You're doing great! Hold on! Ah, God! Everyone get back! Still alive, prisoner? Keep close to me if you want to stay that way. Gunnar, take care of the boy. I have to find General Tullius and join the defense. God's guide you, Helgen.
Oh man, I'm missing all my graphics mods right now. You have no idea.
Stay close to the wall!
I'm just like, this looks so vanilla to me right now. Look at this wall. It's pathetic. You'll see. Some of the mods are active. Some of the wall changes and stuff are there still.
Into the keep, soldier! We're leaving! Die! For the love of the gods! Die, you idiot!
Oh! I got wiped out by the dragon! Oh! The shout got me. Whoa! Whoa! That's scary. I'm out of here. Okay, we're gonna go with Rayloff.
So you managed to survive that. The gods seem to favor you. Good enough for me.
We'll meet again in Solengard, brother.
This is it, eh? Nobody else made it.
No, my lord. At least not this way. Maybe some of them found another way out.
I don't know where that dragon came from. But without it, we'd all be a foot shorter and a lot less talkative.
That thing was a dragon. No doubt. Just like the children's stories and the legends. The harbingers of the end times.
Rayloff, let's get her unshackled. Find yourself a weapon and armor. The gods help those who help themselves, after all.
You may as well take Gunjar's gear. He won't be needing it anymore.
Okay, so here we are. We're finally unshackled. We can see third person.
Borrowing a friend's axe.
And this is the part. This is the first part where we stop the game and save it. So the first part, I'm gonna go ahead and save. Make a new. I should have deleted this save, but that's okay. I'm gonna save it here, and then I'm gonna have to exit the game because we're gonna turn on the rest, all but one. We're gonna turn on all but one mod from here. So bear with me here. The stream is gonna stop temporarily, and it's gonna start again. The stream's not gonna stop, but the game is gonna stop. I'm gonna activate the mods, all but one, and then we're gonna continue. So this is what I have to do in order to maintain stability with what I have. So we're gonna go to desktop. And you guys are gonna lose picture just for a second. Not a huge deal. Try not to freak out. Talk amongst yourselves. And we're gonna continue here just momentarily. I need to deactivate one thing. Okay, this one, and I think this one actually causes a script problem too. So let's get rid of this one. Oh, and yeah, that one. Okay. All right, and now I need to get rid of the stuff that's in my overwrite folder. Okay, and now when we turn the game back on, everything except the great distance, everything except the textures that generate in the distance will be active. So literally every mod I have, except for the long distance LODs, will be active. And it does take a little bit of extra time to boot up as a result of that. So just keep that in mind. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, I am attempting to, the best I can, control our character. I'm gonna say my character. This is our character, guys. I'm gonna try to control our character in a way that is sort of realistic to what a real person would do. So you'll notice I kind of stayed close to the walls. When the dragon came, I ran away and tucked my head down. There was a kid just kind of sitting over there trying to like hover over top of his father going, "Get up, Dad, get up." And he's not coming. The dragon's coming. I rushed over to try to, get him up. Just little things we have to sort of imagine that we're doing, if you will. Okay, so I'm going to custom load. Just make sure we get the right load. Here we go. It's going to take a second for everything to load. We're just going to basically sit there and listen to Rayloff tell us to pick up gear. But we're not going to pick up any gear or anything. I'm not going to load any menus or anything like that until all the mods are loaded.
Gunjar isn't coming back from the dead. Take his armor and anything else on him.
It's going to take a while. Just give it a second. This is what we have to do in the beginning.
Coming back from the dead. Take his armor and anything else on him.
Technically, I shouldn't have had Helgen Reborn on, but because it's part of the patches that I have to activate for the other mods, I usually just took a chance and say whatever, it's going to be active, and it doesn't affect it as long as we're in here. If I move to another room of this, though, it starts to affect it, so I need it to load before I do anything.
Gunjar isn't coming back from the dead.
I'm telling you guys, it's like
Take his armor and anything else
it's like 30 hours of testing to get this stuff to all be super smooth and work. So links in the description down below if you want to know the mod list, if you want to know sort of the mod list I have for this is not like traditional mod lists. It's not just a whole bunch of mods in alphabetical order. It's listed in a spreadsheet left and right. There are two columns that will show you the exact install order and load order through Mod Organizer. So if you want to follow the series, if you want to follow along with it, all you have to do is essentially install the mods, which, again, you're going to have to know the patches. There's a lot more to it than just install and go. But you guys are going to have to figure that out. And I'm going to let you figure that out by essentially forcing you to read the descriptions of the mods. If you want to install something in your game, you should be reading the instructions from the mod authors themselves. Notice how there's only 3 menus in here. That's going to get itself sorted out. Don't worry. Okay, all the mods have appeared to load, so I'm going to go ahead and take Gunjar's gear now. And there's one thing I want to check before we get started, and that's the skills screen. And I want to make sure Percus Maximus is online. It is. Good. Dexterity and Wayfarer are there. That's all I need to know.
Get that armor on.
Okay. Just want to make sure Percus Maximus is active before I do anything. So here we go.
That axe, a few swings.
See if you can get that door open.
Oh yeah, our Breton looks good.
This one's locked.
I like it.
What about the gate?
Okay, now sometimes we're gonna get this thing where our animation is stopped. That's gonna happen until I figure out why that happens. It's gonna happen until I can figure it out why. But to fix it, all I have to do is jump. So it's not that big of a deal.
Come on,
The Imperials! Take cover!
Get ready. Here they come.
Don't let those stormtroopers get away.
Yeah, Ulfric has the voice.
That's it? That's your expense?
Good work. Between us and the dragon, not many imperatives will be getting out of Helgen alive today.
Okay, I'm gonna take some of her stuff. She has a bow and some arrows, and for some reason, this alternate start with Ulfric and stuff, it doesn't end up giving you a bow near the bear. It's really weird. It doesn't give you a bow, but it does put a bow on the captain. So I'm gonna grab that bow and grab the key, of course. And I think weight to value wise, this is probably fine because we're not gonna fill ourselves up in this go. So it'll be fine.
Find the key. See if it unlocks that door.
Okay, so is our menus loaded yet? Yes, okay, we have some more menus here. So look at all the options we have to configure. It's a lot of stuff. We're gonna be working through a lot of the stuff in this episode, in this stream, just to kind of work it out. First thing I'm gonna do, just so it doesn't look weird later, is I'm gonna turn unread books glow. I'm gonna turn this to dim, because it's really super crazy. I'm also gonna take plain books off, because I really don't care if plain books glow. A lot of people who roleplay and stuff, they would probably look at the books and read all the books. I'm probably not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, to be honest. But if you guys want me to, I will. But, I mean, the books are kind of, well, they're books. They do tell good stories, but I'm not sure if we're going to spend a whole lot of time on those stories. Vivid Weathers, we have an actual MCM for our ENB. We have Vividia and ENB active, but this entire time you may have noticed that the colors are really saturated. And I'm not really into the saturation. So what I do is I click this allow customization, and then I'm gonna come into saturation and turn it to low, and that's gonna be good. And then bloom is also gonna be turned to medium. Interior brightness, I'm gonna turn that to low as well. And we're gonna see what that looks like. And it will adjust itself. There we go. This looks a little better, right? I think it looks a little better.
See if you can unlock that door.
Look at all the light sources. We're gonna use real light sources, so you'll notice that in vanilla Skyrim, like this is not this dark. But the only light source in this corridor is this torch. So it makes sense that there wouldn't be a whole lot of light here.
Unlock that door and let's get out of here.
So I'm gonna come back here really quick because you can actually come back where Hadvar would have taken you. And you can pick up some stuff back here if you want to as well. I know this is kind of breaking the role play because my character probably wouldn't do this, but I am gonna come back here just so I can see if there's anything I want to loot back here. And there's a little bit of gold. It's not supposed to say gold though, it's supposed to say septums. So now I'm concerned about whether or not we have, I'm actually concerned about our mods right now. Because it's supposed to say septum. I hope the trade system and I hope the currency system isn't busted. Let me check this really quick. this first stream is really all about getting everything in place for the future. So I need to make sure everything is good. I think it's trade and barter that does this. Start mod. I shouldn't need to start it in order for that to happen, though. Okay. Well, if it says gold, then it says gold. I would like it to say septum, so I'll figure that out and see what I can do afterwards on the stream.
See? That's it. Come on, let's get out of here before the dragon brings the whole power down on our heads.
Some carrots. Okay. Now, you may have noticed that I didn't really fight very much. I kind of let them fight.
Come on, time's wasted. 2
reasons. One, because our character really wouldn't be that aggressive right now. She's a little more scared than anything. But secondly, if you touch Ulfric, if you hit him in any way, he becomes hostile against you, and you cannot beat him. So basically, it's game over. So I'm going to be very careful not to hit Ulfric, because the game doesn't really recognize him as being scripted as part of the scene. And he has a voice, so he can kind of take care of those guys anyway. Yeah. Got a little bit of a hit there. I'm gonna take some of this stuff. And there's something in this barrel, because this is the potions I'm supposed to find later. He doesn't really talk to you much, which I suppose is okay for character play, just because like he's like the Jarl of Windhelm, he's the leader of the rebellion, and I'm just some girl, so I guess that makes sense.
Let's get moving.
Pretty sure I wouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to. I got a kill.
Blood. It's a torture room. Hear that?
A couple of lockpicks there.
Wait a second. Looks like there's something in the...
You might notice also that when I raid things and I pick up things, or I like look inside containers,
see if you can get it open with some picks.
There's actually the stuff I'm reaching into actually moves. So you'll notice that it kind of moves, I guess, when I look into it, almost as if I'm moving it and I'm looking inside it. It takes a little extra time. It takes a little extra time to do that, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so we're gonna pick this lock. It's pretty easy. And I'm just gonna grab this. It should say septums. I'm gonna have to figure out why it doesn't. Grab the spell tomb and grab all of this stuff from him. It's very useful stuff. Okay, so now we get to decide. Let's take a look at our magic really quick. It looks like Conjure Familiar is something we have. Okay, this is... Okay, what I need to do this. Let's try this. I'm gonna save it here. It's a new save. Because I'm gonna reload it one more time, just because I really want to make sure that says septums, because I don't think the mods are fully configured, and it needs to be. So I'm gonna reboot right now with just everything still active, just to make sure. If you want to see Ulfric completely own me, you guys are in the comments wanting me to do that. Yeah, if you guys want to see Ulfric completely own me, sure, we'll go ahead and like hit him, and you'll see there is no forgiveness. Like in vanilla, you can hit Ralof by accident, and he'll be like, "Hey, quit it," or "Hey, watch it," because he's on your team, and that's just kind of what it is. But the game doesn't recognize Ulfric as a scripted character like that. They recognize him as just a regular guy in the Stormcloaks, and so when you hit Ulfric, Ralof also gets pissed, and I think they both come after you. And you can't kill either one of them because they're both unkillable characters. Actually, I think Ulfric might actually be a killable character, if I remember correctly, which is really weird. But because once you leave the cave, he's alive again and whatever, but it is what it is. All right, make sure we get the right save. I want to make sure we get the right stuff because it's supposed to say septums, and I really don't know why it doesn't. All right, so you guys voted for us to hit Ulfric, so here we go.
Hollow smite you.
He's pissed. He just disarmed me. And there's nothing I could do about it. He's really mad. Run away. See, this is what happens if you hit him just once.
Call yourself a warrior?
No, I'm just a little girl. Leave me alone. All right, obviously we don't want to die from this, but you get it. If you hit him at all, he turns hostile against you, so we don't want that. Yeah, and we got a bounty added. Exactly. All right, let me make sure. Let me see if we have. It should say. Value. Pack. I don't see it. It just says we have 33 gold, but I don't think I can see whether or not it's going to say septums or not. We should also have... I'm going to have to look into that, because I don't think that's right. I'm going to have to look into that for sure. We might have to... I might have to come in afterwards and redo the intro and stuff. We'll have the exact same settings, but I might have to redo the intro just to get those mods to work, because sometimes they're finicky in the beginning. The beginning's usually the most unstable part because it's so scripted. This beginning part is so scripted that anything that disrupts it kind of messes up and it doesn't load right. It still says gold, so I'm gonna have to look into that. Anyway, making our way through the cave here. Trying to escape. And these guys are really slow. Rayloff is usually faster than this, but this alternative beginning, these guys are kind of slow. Not gonna lie, they're a little slow. But they're wearing the cloaks. Got new armors. You may have noticed that their armors have changed. If you didn't notice that, take a peek at what Ulfric's wearing later. Okay, now we're gonna be using magic. You guys voted, so I'm gonna take and. Oh, I don't have enough magicka to conjure familiar. This is the reason why this is messed up, because I don't have enough magic to conjure my beginner spell. Because the beginner spell is not accurate. It's not right. So I am gonna need to reload this, but that's okay. I just don't want to hit Ulfric, so if he's near, I gotta stay away. Okay.
We've got to get moving while the dragon's keeping the Imperials busy.
Let's go on ahead. See if the way is clear.
Yeah, none of my animations are working either, so that's probably one of the disruptions. I'll have to figure that out.
Let's see where this goes.
I'll take the torch too. Ulfric's coming behind us. He gets locked out.
For your own sake, get going. May Talos shield you from all harm. No going back that way now.
Yeah, I need a torch. I can't see anything.
We better push on. The rest of them will have to find another way out.
Okay. I'm just gonna move through here. How's the stream health, guys? Is it looking good? Graphics are looking sharp. Buffering problems are non-existent. Everything is as perfect as it could possibly be. As always, right? That's the way it always is, of course. My streams are never full of bugs or glitches or, things going wrong. Ever.
That doesn't go anywhere. Guess we better try this way.
Okay. I just really wish I could cast my spell, but I can't. It's really annoying. Bretons start with conjuration ability. And I can't cast it because I don't have the magicka, because the mods that govern that are kind of not working very well. That one never fell from the ceiling. I hear it, but I can't see it. There it goes. And we actually might get another spawn of those, because I do have ASUS active. Oh, there they go. Yep. Kind of glitched though. I am gonna fix that. Oh, sorry, Rayloff. Seriously, like, you just happened to be there, man. Sorry. But notice how he's not attacking me now, right? Because Ulfric's out of the script. Ulfric's no longer here, so that's okay now. He doesn't mind. He'll just be like, watch it. But Ulfric does care. You do not hit the Jarl, okay? The Jarl will hit you back. Might still get another spawn. It's possible. I am gonna grab a whole bunch of these. Yep, we got another one. Where is it? Yep. Where is it? Little one right here. Yeah. So ASUS is active. ASUS also increases spawn rates. And it triggers on certain things. So like me searching through those eggs and opening them up might spawn additional spiders to come out of them. That's the idea. So can't tell if I hear it, just don't see it. It's over there. Yeah, none of my animations are working, so I'm definitely gonna have to do something about that. Okay. Let's grab the skeever tail. Let's go this way.
Come on, hurry up.
Okay, now if my memory serves me correctly, unless he fixed it, this should not give me a bow.
Hold up. There's a bear just ahead. See her? I'd rather not tangle with her right now. Let's try to sneak by. Just take it nice and slow. And watch where you step. Or if you're feeling lucky,
okay, well.
you can take this bow. Might take her by surprise.
My testing was with version 1.1 of the mod, and it's been updated, and apparently he fixed that, so okay, cool. I am going to shoot it, but I'm going to use... Wow, the longbow is better than the Imperial shortbow. That's because it's a longbow. Okay, fair enough. Okay. To line up the shot, and if I hit it just right... Yeah, there we go. Should be a one-shot kill. Boom. Is there any wolves near him? No, no wolves. Okay, now here's another bug, and it looks like he maybe didn't fix this one. He's going to be stuck there now. He's not going to move. That's just a glitch with the alternate start. I'm curious as to whether or not the alternate start is the reason why this isn't septims and stuff. So what I might do is restart the game after this stream is over. I might restart the game. And not on the stream. It'll be after the stream is officially over with. We get all our settings worked out. But I'll restart it with the regular traditional start, because other than that, it's the same. Like, the game's just the same. There's a couple of other instances where you might run into Hadvar and his voice should be different, but I'm not like married to the fact that he should have his voice different, so I don't really care. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put our bow away. I'm gonna take the axe back out. Actually, I don't need that back out, so yeah, well, we'll just keep the bow for now. It's fine. Since I can't cast the spell like I'm supposed to be able to. Okay.
Wait.
There we go. Yeah, my animations are not working. Neither is my
Looks like
sheath.
he's gone for good
Yeah,
this time.
it's not working either.
No way to know if anyone else made it out alive. But this place is going to be swarming with Imperials soon enough. We better clear out of here. My sister, Gerda, runs the mill in Riverwood.
Look at those guys.
Just up the road. I'm sure she'd help you out. It's probably best if we split up. Good luck.
I wouldn't have made it without your help today.
Okay, so there were bandits over there, and they're kind of fighting and running after things right now. I do want to check something really quick just to make sure. Yeah, my animations are installed. They're just not working. If I refresh them... Oops, that's the console. Okay, now they're working. I should be taking a knee like this when I crouch. I should also be able to run. Yep, I can run straight at the camera instead of having to be forced to go backwards, so that's cool. I have a different run, different style run. It's tuned to females, so it has more of a female mannerism. For some reason, this old animation that I uninstalled a long time ago is still on. Turn that off. There we go. And we have different idols, so our character will kind of chill a little bit more when she stands. Should be a little more relaxed. And the other NPCs in the game will also do the same. So that's pretty good too. It'll be a little bit more, I think a little bit more realistic to what it would, usually traditionally be, perhaps. Okay, so what would our character do from this point? I'm thinking, not knowing anyone, she's probably developed some sort of a, I want to say rapport, but she's probably developed some sort of a, maybe increasing my magicka by 30 points would let me cast that familiar. I bet it would. I'm also going to learn sparks. Yeah, okay, we're going to be using magic a lot, so I'm going to start fighting with magic. That makes sense. Book of the Dragonborn. Okay, not a big deal. Let's start putting... Let's test the spell. Can I cast it now? I can. Yep. So the increase in magicka is going to allow me to cast the familiar now. Cool. We have spark and we have conjuration, which is good. Now, for whatever reason, go back to Finis. Magiska is off, so let's turn that on. So I should be standing... Interesting. There we go. So I'm going to show you guys. This is like... This is sort of like Magiska. It changes the animations for spells. So when we're getting ready to cast something or charging up something, we're kind of standing like this, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's it's a little bit more relaxed, and it sort of embodies like you probably hold the energy close to you. You probably want to have maybe both hands to charge things up. Kind of makes it look like she's a little bit more adept to what she's doing. I think it does anyway. I kind of like it. Okay. And then our spell casting is different too, but we'll get into that when the time comes. Our jumps are different, so if you played Skyrim before, you'll notice the jumps are different. We can just jump up. This jump. There we go. Sweet. All right, so I think she would probably follow Ralof, but unfortunately, I think he's too far ahead of us now. Can we catch him before he gets to the stones? I don't know if we can. Sorry if you guys hear anyone in the background. Yeah, you guys can definitely hear her in the background. Sorry about that. Alright, so these are the Spirit Stones. No, these are the Guardian Stones. And essentially, for those of you who are new to Skyrim, essentially there is a Thief Stone, a Mage Stone, and a Warrior Stone. And these stones essentially sort of your way of committing a profession, if you will, or committing yourself to a way of, I don't know how to describe it, I guess a way of training. They're not permanent. The decision's not permanent. We can change at any time. We just have to come back here and change when we want to change. So the first thing we have to decide is sort of what skills we're going to up first, what skills we're going to work on first. Do we work on like trade type stuff first to get like our ability to get some money? Or do we take and focus on maybe warrior skills, or do we want to do mage skills? Comments down below, guys. Let me know. I am going to try... now, I will say that our character is going to try her best to avoid conflict, I would think, because she's never really been a violent person all her life. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about this. Give me a second. You guys, tell me what you want to study first. All right, so you guys are saying Loverstone is the best. Well, for right now, we're not Loverstone. Stealth Archer is the standard of all Elder Scroll games. Yeah, Stealth Archer. I think it's a little easy, though. I kind of want things tough. We're going to have things tough throughout the whole game, so don't worry. We'll be fine. It looks like... It says Mage, yeah. Why shoot the bear? Because she was a hunter. And she knows how to shoot the bear. Maybe that comes from the backstory a little bit, but yeah. Let's take, and we'll do the Mage Stone for now. Now, what this does is any skills under magic we'll learn it 20% faster, which is really nice. So we'll take the Mage Stone for now. I really wish we had done it with Ralof here, because Ralof has additional dialogue and stuff. If you run down the mountain with him, he has additional dialogue, and it just fits. So I kind of wanted to catch him, but I don't think we're going to, especially since I've been standing around for a while. So let's go. I think he goes this way. Yeah, let's go down this way. Now, oh, before I forget, I don't want to forget. So before we go any further, Frostfall needs to be turned on. And so does Realistic Needs and Diseases. That needs to be turned on as well. Okay. So we'll let Frostfall load. Frostfall's going to undress us, so when I become naked, don't freak out. Frostfall will undress us, and then put our clothes back on. It has to reload the outfit I'm wearing so that it can get the warmth information for it. There it goes. Okay. Oh, we have some fighting. So this is border holds. There's some borders and stuff for different holds in different cities now because there's a war going on. You'd think they would want to like protect themselves, protect their borders and stuff. So we've got that going on. Look at this now. Get decent graphics. Not all of them are loaded very well. I'm gonna have to go back. I think there was a problem loading in the beginning because some of the features in the mods are not active, I can tell. So I'm gonna have to go back there and try that out, but it's okay. We're gonna head down to Riverwood. I'm pretty sure it's this way, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've actually played Skyrim. I know I said I spent 30 hours on stuff. Who's this? Ezsha? Uh-oh. I feel like I hear... Oops, I'm supposed to have a spell. That's supposed to be a spell in the hand.
You must be one of those whispers from the college in Riverwood.
There we go.
I'm telling you, I heard it, howling. Those werewolf tales are true.
Okay. I thought maybe she might be one of those interesting NPCs from the mod, but apparently not. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with the mod list. So, sorry about that. I will get that all corrected before the next stream. This will all be worked out before then. Because these walls shouldn't look flat. They should have some serious 3D definition to them. And they don't. So I'm going to have to fix that. But this is Riverwood. I heard from an old mine in the south of Riverwood. So one of the decisions I had to make was to install A Matter of Time, and there's another mod that basically, I think it's called The Choice Is Yours, where you have to choose when you would get quests. You have to choose when you get spells, or not spells, but like quests and tasks. And in order to get them, you would have to approach them and actually pursue them. I didn't do that, one, because I feel like I would miss a lot of opportunities with that, just because I'm not accustomed to Skyrim. I feel like that's a mod that someone who's really seasoned to Skyrim should use. And the second reason I didn't do it mostly was because one of them actually caused to crash the desktop for me. I think it conflicts with something else I have. Probably the mod that I have that warns you when you level up or something, but I don't know.
What?
You'll see what I mean.
What is it now, Mother?
It was as big as the mountain and black as night. It flew right over the barrel.
Dragons now, is it? Please, Mother. If you keep on like this, everyone in town will think you're crazy. And I've got better things to do than listen to more of your fantasies.
I'll be right down. See, it was a dragon. It'll kill us all.
Raylof's over here. So we're gonna go hang out with Rayloff. I should have we missed all this dialogue, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's not that important.
Uncle Rayloff, can I see your axe? How many Imperials have you killed? Do you really know Ulfric's Stormcloak?
Hush, Frodnar. This is no time for your games. Go and watch the South Road. Come find us if you see any Imperial soldiers coming.
Aw, Mama. I want to stay and talk with Uncle Rayloff.
Look at you. Almost a grown man. Won't be long before you'll be joining the fight yourself.
That's right. Don't worry, Uncle Rayloff. I won't let those soldiers sneak up on you.
Now, Rayloff, what's going on? You two look pretty well done in.
I'm actually gonna take this hood off because I think it's, I don't know, it just works better.
I can't remember when I last slept. Where to start? Well, the news you heard about Ulfric was true. The Imperials ambushed us outside Darkwater Crossing. Like they knew exactly where we'd be. That was 2 days ago now. We stopped in Helgen this morning, and I thought it was all over. Had us lined up to the headsman's block and ready to start chopping.
The cowards.
They wouldn't dare give Ulfric a fair trial. Treason for fighting for your own people. All of Skyrim would have seen the truth then. But then, out of nowhere, a dragon attacked.
You don't mean a real, live...
I can hardly believe it myself. And I was there. As strange as it sounds, we'd be dead if not for that dragon. In the confusion, we managed to slip away. Are we really the first to make it to Riverwood?
Nobody else has come up the South Road today, as far as I know.
Good. Maybe we can lay up for a while. I hate to put your family in danger, Gerda, but...
Nonsense. You and your friend are welcome to stay here as long as you need to. Let me worry about the Imperials. Any friend of Rayloff's is a friend of mine. Here's the key to the house. Stay as long as you like. If there is anything else you need, just let me know.
Yes, there's a lot of things we want to take from Girder because she gives us a really good start. We're going to take the small leather tent. This is going to help us with Frostfall, especially. We're going to take any food she has to offer because realistic needs and diseases. You know, if she's going to give us an amethyst, I'm going to take it too. Silver Garnet Ring of Growth. Health is increased by 15 points during sunny weather. Interesting. Let's grab that. Travel Cloak Burlap. That's going to help us with warmth, I think, although it doesn't give me a coverage and a warmth and coverage mark. I think probably, again, because the mods are messed up, but I'm going to take it anyway because I know it will be there. I am going to replay this little opening sequence just to make sure all the mods are working to this point because I know that there's some problems right now. Some of the things are not showing up. Lockpick, a couple of potions, apples. I'm not going to take the mead unless I need it. Well, drinking is... Yeah, I do need to worry about my thirst, I guess. I'll take the mead. Pretty much everything, really. You know what? Let's just take everything except the boots. I already have the boots. Thanks, Girder.
There is something you could do for me. For all of us here. The Jarl needs to know if there's a dragon on the loose. Riverwood is defenseless. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun to send whatever troops he can. If you'll do that for me, I'll be in your debt.
Thanks, sister. I knew we could count on you.
I ought to get back to work before I'm missed, but did anyone else escape? Did Ulfric?
Don't worry. I'm sure he made it out. It'll take more than a dragon to stop Ulfric's Stormcloak. I'll let them into the house and, you know, show them where everything is.
Help them drink up our mead, you mean? Good luck, brother. I'll see you later.
Don't worry about me. I know how to lay low. I told you my sister would help us out.
I don't know if you noticed, but I have another mod installed that...
You should go to Windhelm and join the fight to free Skyrim. You've seen the true face of the Empire here today.
Turns my head.
If anyone will know what the coming of the dragon means, it's Ulf.
No, my head will follow things. Not just the thing that's talking, but not just the person that's talking, but really a lot of things. Even if it's something as simple as a.
Good luck.
Even if it's something as simple as an animal or something crossing my path, my head will follow it. Like that horse, for example, it's kind of tilted over towards the horse. Okay, so Gerder's house is over here. I thought Ralof was going to show me the way. He just said, I hope to see you in Windhelm.
I hope to see you in Windhelm. Good luck.
Like he's seeing me off, but Gerder's house is over here. And I'm actually going to take and save it.
To help any way I can.
I'm going to take and save it inside Gerder's house. And then I'm going to...
Did you really see a dragon?
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to sleep. That's owned. There's got to be a bed here, right, that I can use? Yeah, this one. All right, so what I'm going to do... Yeah, it still says gold. All right, I'm going to leave the gold there because I want it to say septums later. But what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to sleep 7 o'clock. I'll just end up being hungry, and I don't want to do that. So let's save it here. And then I'm going to do something that's probably against what most people want me to do because you've already seen it. But just to see if it works, just to see if it fixes the problems I'm seeing, I'm going to try to reboot the game again and start a brand new save. Again, I'm going to have everything exactly the same way as it was. But I'm going to try to do the brand new save with every mod active. And you can see what happens when that does that. There is a chance, it's slim, it doesn't happen hardly ever, but there is a chance that it will actually boot up and work just fine. So that's something that's there. That's something. I'm actually going to turn the original opening scene, that new scene, that new opening or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to disable that. And I can't because I've already patched through it. So I guess I'm going to leave it on, I guess. I already patched through it. It's the problem with doing like reprocker patches and stuff is that you can't change your mind later if you want to. So let's actually turn this on again. And original, is it back in the same spot as it was? I know you guys can't see this, but it's kind of important that I get this to be right. But I'm going to try to reboot it again. Now that you've kind of already seen the opening scene, I don't blame you if you don't want to watch it again, but I need the mods to be right. And this is one way I know that sometimes works. It only works maybe like 15-20% of the time. But if it does work, then it solves all my problems without having to worry about it later. So I'm going to try that. So it's booting up right now. We have every single mod installed right now. And you'll see what happens in the opening scene most times when you load this list just the way it is as a brand new save. Most of the time when you do this, everything just goes completely crazy. It's called the flipping cart glitch, or you may have heard of it before. It completely goes crazy. But we'll see if it does this time. Every mod is active now. So let's cross our fingers. I think it's called head tracking. I think that's what the mod is called, head tracking. The one that makes your head follow your targets. I don't know. You can see the mod list, like I said before. Mod list, link in the description down below. This kind of sounds like it's messed up. Yeah, it is. So notice how the scene is totally janked.
Hey you.
It's completely crazy.
Guard sure worked you over.
And I can't even stop it until that title screen comes up. Then I can go back to the menu. We'll try it one more time. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to do this. I was like sitting here crossing my fingers like, please don't mess up in my stream. Please don't mess up in my stream. But at the end of the day, at least it's consistent and I can predict it. But every now and then you'll start and it won't do it and it'll be fine. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, this is probably what the error was. TRSD needs original item piece prices to initialize the save or a new game. They've already been modified. If possible, reload the save you were just playing and choose Inish Other Save from TSRD. Otherwise, just restart Skyrim, then reload the save file or another new game. Okay, so basically, what it's telling me is that I cannot do what I'm trying to do right from the menu. I actually have to reboot the entire game to do it. Okay. I do have some other changes to ask you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'll try this one more time. And if it doesn't work, then I'll just reload the save that we're on initially anyway. I'll just reload the one that we're already playing. And we'll go through all the mod configuration stuff. I'm going to ask you guys some questions related to sort of the difficulty we want to experience in this game, because difficulty is kind of a big deal. And all these mods are configurable to a certain degree of difficulty. So things like Frostfall can be tweaked. Things like Realistic Needs and Diseases can be tweaked. Deadly Dragons. There's a whole bunch of stuff related to trade and barter and trade routes. There's a whole bunch of stuff. With ASUS, for example, we can determine like the likeliness that an NPC is going to have a potion. How many potions would they maybe have? Because I have ASUS installed, NPCs like bandits and stuff will also have access to all of the same spells and stuff that I do. And since I have Percus Maximus installed as well as the Apocalypse spell package, that's a lot of spells. There's so many spells. It's nuts. I think it added like 120 different spells to the game. So, and they will all have this access to the same stuff, which is great. So we'll try this. Hopefully this save loads. I have a feeling it won't, just because I can kind of hear it.
Hey, you.
Hope it does.
Finally
No,
awake.
it won't. Okay, so we'll go ahead and reload an additional save file. 1 second. I have to wait till the Elder Scrolls 5 comes up.
Like that thief over there.
Yeah.
Stand with them.
So if you load this mod list yourself, you may look at this opening screen and say, "Oh no, my mod list isn't stable. It's not going to work." You may do that, and it's not true. You just have to kind of do it like I did, where you activate them one at a time. You just have to make sure that you have most of them active when you do it. So that's the thing. So we're going to go and load the save that we had before, and we're going to go through a whole bunch of the mod options with you guys just to kind of get a feel for what we should have. And then I'll use this video. Yeah, and same thing with Finis. I have to redo Finis as well because of these animations. Look at this. Like, I'm basically walking backwards now. It's moonwalk style, baby. It's so messed up. So messed up. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to restart the save, but that's okay. So I'll keep the same settings we have, same character creation stuff, and let's talk about mods. So we're gonna try to determine, you guys in the comments right now are the ones that are in charge of essentially predicting or governing the difficulty settings for our entire playthrough. There might be periods of times throughout this playthrough where we do adjust these settings. There might be times throughout the playthrough where we even add additional things, although that's probably not going to happen. I have tested this mod list very thoroughly, and it is completely stable and everything does work. You just have to do it right and kind of get a little lucky at the beginning, and we didn't get lucky. Okay, so Apocalypse spells. I think most of these are going to be pretty good by default, and I don't really know what a lot of them do. So I'm going to actually leave them probably alone. If you have a preference, and you can see them on your screen now, you probably don't know what a lot of this stuff means, but it has to do with balance. It has to do with certain spells and how they affect the characters. So if you want to take a minute and just sort of look over things in the video, you can refresh the video, go back. There's DVR on this stream, so you can always go back. Leave your comments in the stream chat, or you can leave them as a comment on the video when it goes live as well. And this is going to sort of help me govern the difficulty that you guys would like for the series. Keep in mind, however, that there's a pretty good chance that if you make it super difficult, we won't have very much fun at all because I won't be able to do it. But I do want a challenge, and I welcome a challenge completely. So yeah, I'm really into that. Okay, so Apocalypse Spells doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff. Let's look at ASUS. So increased spawns. ASUS has sort of this, ASUS's system of increasing spawns is essentially how this works is if there would normally be a spawn, let's say there's a group of 3 bandits, if there would normally be a spawn of 3 bandits there, ASUS will trigger that spawn and look at it and go, maybe there's an extra bandit. Maybe there's 2 extra bandits. Maybe now there's 3 extra bandits. What are the likeliness that that happens? This is how this is weighted. The higher number means it's more likely. So right now it's weighted with 200 being, this is the chance that we'll have no additional spawns. It'll be the 3 bandits that's supposed to be. But there's just basically almost the same odds that we'll have an additional spawn, right? An additional bandit will be there, right? We'll have to deal with 4. That's 150 weight. 2 is 35. Whether or not there's gonna be 3 additional bandits on that spawn, that's weighted 10. 4 is 3, 5 is 2. We can even do 6, 7, 8, or 9 if we really like death. This also, keep in mind, nope, I think actually I disabled that, and that's really smart to do that. This does not count for dragons, okay? So it won't spawn additional dragons, because I disabled that, because it's just silly to have 6 dragons pop up. It's retarded. But that's okay, because later on we also have the Deadly Dragons mod, and the Deadly Dragons mod is going to take care of our dragon difficulty all by itself, because we're going to raise the difficulty of dragons and stuff if we want to as well, but we'll get to that in a second. So, ASUS. So, whoops, go back to ASUS. What do you guys think of these settings? Are they good enough? Do we want to increase them, decrease them? How do you want to change them, if change them at all? So the higher the number, the more likely that thing is to take effect. So if, like I said in my example before, let's say we're going through a cave, we're going through a dungeon or some sort of ruin, and there would normally be 2 bandits. Like maybe there's 2 bandits walking around in a room, right? Maybe they're just standing around. They're waiting for me to trigger them by walking in the room. There's 2 of them. What's the chances that there's actually 2 of them? Maybe there's 3 of them. Maybe there will be 4 of them, etc. How should we weight this, right? How should we trigger that? Okay, so some people say keep it default. Put some small numbers on 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so the thing is that this is already pretty small. So it sounds like you guys want to have the possibility for complete and total annihilation. Okay, you're really going to ask me for it. How about we do this? We're going to weight no spawns to 400, and then we'll base all the other numbers around 400. So 1 spawn, let's say we put a weight of like 340 on that. That's pretty fair, right? I wish I could type a number in, but I can't. You know what? I don't care. 338 is fine. Wait for 2 spawns. Okay. How about we raise 2 spawns to, I don't know, 105? 100? 100 even? Sounds good. Let's do 100. 99, whatever. Not going to play around for 1. 3 spawns. Now, there normally was 10 to 200, so there normally was like 0.5%. So if we want to stay consistent with 0.5%, this number would be 20 now. Right? That's not raising the chances at all right there. I actually think I increased the chances on these ones. This is now 25%. I think that's a little bit high. So maybe we take that down to like, whatever, that's fine. 4 spawns. Okay, how about we go, what was the weight for 3? 20? I think 4, how about we raise this to, how about maybe 8, 7? Okay, so I almost tripled that one. 5 spawns, this is getting ridiculous now. Like, so many enemies to face. We're going to have to really be good at conjuration. We're going to have to take followers with us all the time. This is going to be brutal. Keep in mind, we can change these at any time. So we don't have to stick with the settings. So if we start playing this and it's too difficult and we get to a dungeon and it's like there's 9 people in the room and there's just no way we can beat it, then we can take this down. It will require us to reboot a save, so we're going to have to make sure we save before we go into every dungeon. But, you know, we can do that. So I think 5 spawns, I'm going to put a weight of 4, if I can get it to do it. I really want 4. I'm not going to do 5, so if it won't let me have 4, we're going to do 3. Oh, you know what? Use the arrow keys, dumbass. Okay. All right, 6 spawns, I say we put a 1. And if it's me calling the shots, I don't think we do anything for 7, 8, and 9. But, so I basically just added a small chance to have, I can't get it. Okay, fine, 2. Oh, duh, I can use the arrows. I keep forgetting I can use the arrows. Okay. Anyone have any difference to say on this? Anyone have any additional input on this? Is there any of these numbers too high or any of these numbers too low, etc.? Yeah, I'm not gonna have it count for dragons and put 9 on full. That's not gonna happen. We do actually want to live through our playthrough. We don't want to just die right away or anything. So now this option here actually determines whether or not the spawns are reduced indoors. I don't know what that means. I don't think that counts as dungeons, but it might. I'll have to read up on that. But this is the default option, so we'll leave that alone. All right, it's hard to keep track of what marker you're looking for. However, I say increase every 10 levels. Seems fine by me. Every 10 levels, it should shift up a bit. What is it? What do you mean by that? Every 10 levels. What is that? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like my actual player level? Because all the enemies are going to scale with me. That's how Skyrim works. So, like when I'm level 10, I'm going to be facing enemies that are around level 10. And when I get to 30, I'm going to be facing enemies that are around level 30. So, and they're all going to have access to the same spells and perks that I do. So some of them will be able to cast, these, if I have this overkill spell, if I have this super awesome spell where I can, I don't know, summon a Dremora and have them crush me and have them crush my enemies, there's a chance that mages in the bandit pool or mages that I'm fighting against will have that exact same ability. So they're all going to be scaled up with me. I get more perks and followers along the way with equipment. Yes, and my enemies also get the same perks as I do, and they also get the same spells as I do. So there's a balance already in place with Percus Maximus combined with ASUS. ASUS is already distributing all of the same perks and stuff that I do, that I have. Keep in mind also that as we're traveling throughout the world of Skyrim, I am the only person being affected by Frostfall. So if we're cold and I have debuffs on me because we're cold, my enemies will not have those debuffs. So it's already kind of weighted against me. So it looks like you guys are okay with this. You're not saying anything. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is okay. Now, this is increased spawns. So this is essentially like, this is the chance for a spawn group to have additional people. Then there's the spawn randomizer. Now, the spawn randomizer, all the defaults is off. And what the spawn randomizer is how many groups are there. So I believe that's true. And I might be wrong. And if I am wrong, somebody will probably correct me in the comments. But increased spawns, this determines how many people are part of groups. This one determines how many groups there are. And with all of them being weighted 0, I think they're all off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it up a little bit on 0. Just to make sure no additional groups spawn, because I think that's a little bit too difficult right now. But later on we might activate this. So what that means is, let's say there would normally be one group of 2. All right, so this, let's say this kicked in and we have 2. Now that's a one group of 4. If we had like some weight for 1 or 2 here, all of a sudden maybe now there's 2 groups of 4, right? So it gets really nuts. Eventually this gets so ridiculously hard that nobody wants to play it. So you have to kind of be conscious of how difficult you're really making this. Keeping in mind, of course, that every enemy we get is kind of tuned to our level a little bit. Well, I mean, a little bit. They're not like, not every random, Forsworn is going to be able to keep up with us when we're in full Daedric armor or anything. But I think you kind of get it. It's going to level up with us somewhat. And I don't believe this goes with dragons, because I think Deadly Dragons is taking care of that part. Catch Alduin in a Pokeball. Right. Yeah. All right. So I think we're going to be good with this then for now. This looks like. You guys are fine with that for now? This is a chance for a random spawn. So this is per NPC. So this is like, if there would not normally be a bandit there, what's the chance that all of a sudden there is a bandit there? And then it goes, it compounds with the rest of these group settings. So what's the chances that there's 4 bandits there? And there's 2 groups of them now. And it's just random. You know, they wouldn't normally be there. That's what this stuff is. Keep that in your thoughts. Maybe we'll configure that later. Final setting for ASUS, NPC potions. So this determines how many potions NPCs are allowed to have. The default setting is 5. Now, they can be potions for anything. They don't necessarily mean health potions. They could be buffs. They could even be poisons, I think, too. They could use poisons against us. How many potions do NPCs get when they get potions? And then the second one is, what's the chance that they'll get a potion? And the default is 10%. Right? So how I was playing this before, and you can change it now, it's up to you guys. How I was playing this before was this. I turned this down to 2, but I turned this up to 25. So they're going to get less potions when they get it, but they're far more likely to have them. That's how I played it. This is the likeliness that a potion will be given to an NPC. This is the likeliness to determine how many potions will be used when they calculate the potion chances. Is there a mod? Spawns 9 in groups, plus 9 dragons. No. To raise it up a bit, they're adventurers living out in the wilderness. That's true. They are. So we think this number should be higher. 3 and 25? I can do 3 and 25. Christian says 3 and 25. Does everyone agree with that? Everyone like that? Percheese thinks 30% chance. Currently it's 3 and 25. Does everyone think this is good? Should we raise the percentage chance? Should we raise the potion numbers? I'm going with you guys, man. I'm gonna have as much suffering as you want me to have. 30% so far. Percheese says we should have 30% chances. I just want to make sure this is an actual percentage. I'm pretty sure it is. This goes to 100, right? Yeah, okay. I can change these values at any time. So we don't have to do it now. This is just sort of a baseline for us to run with and see what it works out. So are we good with 3 and 25? Should we do 3 and 30? 3 and 25 is good. Okay, we're good with that. ASUS setting is completed. Man, I'm going to suffer. With those random spawns, I'm going to be suffering big time. Okay, next thing is... we don't need to do that, actually. Campfire is good. Complete crafting. I don't think there's any settings in here I really need help with you guys with. They're kind of all turned on. I can craft anything that's within these categories, and it's enabled. It's integrated with several other mods. So we've got, Dragonborn stuff. We've got Winter is Coming, Book of Silence, Immersive Armors, Immersive Weapons. They're all active. There's not really a whole lot there. We could also change the way experience is distributed with crafting as well. We have the option to tweak that. We can do a modifier for vanilla. So maybe we want to, if we do 0.5, I think this is the amount that vanilla XP is decreased. This value will determine how much experience you'll continue to receive after crafting 3 copies of an item. A value of 0.1 means that very little additional experience will be awarded when crafting 4 or more copies of an item. A value of 1 means that you'll receive the full vanilla XP regardless of the number of copies crafted. So if I've already crafted an iron longsword, let's say, if I've already crafted just an iron dagger, for example, right? In vanilla, you get the exact same amount of experience no matter how many different times you've crafted it. You just keep getting the same amount of experience. Complete Crafting Overhaul takes this and makes it a lot more immersive and a lot more realistic by saying, you know what? You've crafted like 100 of these things. I don't think you're getting any more experience for that. And that's what this does. So how do we like this? right? Right now, right, smithing experience. Actually, let's focus on one at a time. So I have this turned on, alternative experience formula. This enables an alternative formula for calculating experience gained from crafting items at the forge. This does not affect the XP gained at other crafting stations. It only affects the forge. Okay, so if I'm on the tanning rack, if I'm improving an item, maybe making it superior or something, it doesn't affect that. Okay, this part doesn't. This new formula rewards more experience points for items that have not been crafted before, and decreasing the amounts of experience for each additional item and every single time an additional identical item has been crafted. So I will get more experience for things that I haven't crafted before. It's like, wow, I've made something new and I learned a lot from it, which makes so much more sense. But if I've already made 8 copies of it, 10 copies of it or more, I shouldn't be getting hardly any experience. That's what these settings are. So this also prevents me from spamming iron daggers and things like that. So there's that. So vanilla experience modifier. Right now, after we've crafted 3 copies of an item, we're only going to get half experience for that item from now on. Is that okay with people? Do you think we should get more than that? Do you think we should get less than that? The question was, can I adjust the number of items created before the XP drop? I don't think I can do it from here. I might be able to do it in an INI file, but I don't think I can do it from here. This number determines how sharply the experience amount will drop off after an additional copy has been crafted. Lower values will flatten this curve and provide only a moderate decrease in XP per craft. So it looks like it's going to start with 3. I don't think I can change that. It's going to start with 3, and then it's going to drop 0.5 of vanilla after 3, and then it will drop half again after another 3, and then half of that value after another 3, etc. I think that's how that's doing it. I don't know that. I'm going to have to read for that, but I think that's how that's working. And then the bonus multiplier. So this is the number that controls the size of the bonus XP awarded for the first 3 copies of each additional item crafted. Higher numbers result in an increased experience for the first 3 copies. So basically what this is doing is it's giving me more than usual for the first 3 times I do something. But then it's giving me half of what I would normally get for additional 3. So it kind of cancels out until I start crafting a lot of them. Like, I think pretty much everybody's done this. We just make a bunch of iron plates, right? Like a bunch of iron plate armor, and you just bam, 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 bam. You just crank these things out, and you get a whole bunch of experience for it. Maybe you drink a potion, and you get a whole bunch of experience for it. With this crafting overhaul prevents that. Well, at least it kills it greatly, because it's going to kill the experience you get for additional items, which is pretty cool. Because it just makes sense to me, if I've already built this before, I'm not going to really learn much from every single additional build. And this is only at the forge. So it's not the tanning rack. It's not improving armors later, right? It's just the rack. So how do we feel about these values? It's going to make it tough, but it seems logical. I agree with arcs. Maybe 0.6 or 0.7. So we want to put this up. Is that what we're saying? Mod options. Let's go to that. Craft Dawnguard items. Silver Ebony bonus. Gilded Ebony bonus. Racial restrictions. What's that? Book of Silence. Okay, this is another mod we have installed. There's a lot of different really great armors and stuff. Amidium board and stuff is great. This will apply a lore-friendly racial restriction to some of the Book of Silence variant recipes. Only Altmer will be able to craft the Thalmor variants, and only Nords can craft the Steel Glass variants. Okay. So if we check this, we will not be able to craft Steel Glass, and we won't be able to craft the Thalmor stuff. Which makes sense to me, because we're not Nord or Altmer, so I like that. I'm going to turn that on. But go back to this. Learning and XP, that's where we are. Miscellaneous balance, what's this? Variable tempering strength, silver weapon bonuses, style rim enchanting bonuses. There's a whole bunch of options in here, guys. There's tons of stuff. But this first stream is all about establishing our baseline on what we want to do, how we're going to approach this in the future. So are we good with these values? Put it at 0.7 and make the exponent like 0.3. Okay, we can do that. 0.3. To verify what this means, I just want to make sure. Number determines how sharply the XP amounts will drop off after an additional copy has been crafted. Okay, and then the XP modifier, you're saying 0.7 here. So what you're saying is we get more experience. We still get less than vanilla would give us, but we're going to get more than what the mod's default would give us for the next 3. But then every additional item we craft from that point on is actually going to drop off, but it's going to drop off slower than it used to. So overall, we're making this a little easier than the default. That's what we're saying here? Now the bonus multiplier, let's talk about that. We haven't talked about that yet. It's the number that controls the size of the bonus that's awarded for the first 3 copies. Because remember, we're getting we're getting more, right? We're getting more experience now for brand new things. We're getting more than vanilla would give us. As an example, setting this value to 0 would result in no experience bonus at all. A value of 53, which is the default, somehow this actually results in us getting 150 additional experience the very first time we do it, 100 additional experience the second time we do it, and 50 additional experience the third time we do it. And then from that point on, it takes into account our other vanilla XP modifier. So that's how... Oh, never mind. I take that back. I said that wrong. Let's read the whole description here. A value of 53 will result in bonus amounts of 150, 150, respectively, for the first, second, and third, for an item that would normally give 100 per copy if we were using vanilla. So vanilla is normally going to give us 100 every single time. This setting gives us 150, 150. It all equals the same 300. So for the first 3 items, we're going to get the same 300 as we always would have gotten before. That's what this multiplier is. It's just giving us a little bit more the first time, the same the second time, and a little bit less the third time. Makes sense? Let's take a look at the comments here. With these settings, how far can you reasonably go in the skill? I don't know, that's a good question. We have to do a lot of skill. We'll have to do a lot of work. But our game is really long. We have a lot of additional stuff, lots of content, so many quests, so many additional places, so much to explore, a whole bunch of different buildings, new locations. We'll be doing this for a while. I think this might stretch the skill out more, right? Because I think a lot of people in vanilla have a tendency to sort of get to the point where they're like level 40 and they already have Daedric armor. And this will sort of balance it out a bit more, I think. This will sort of slow us down. It'll require more time to get to the level we're at. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but that's why I'm asking you guys, right? It'll still cost a bunch of materials, but in the real world, you can't make something twice and master that item. Correct. One of the Skyrim cities, the person owning a forge actually tells someone they won't work on a blade till you finish the quest to get the book. Yep. 0.3 exponent would mean 1/3, so raise the power of 1, then cube root. Yeah, math stuff. Doing math in a stream. I'm going to let you guys do that, not me. All right, so are we good with this? Do we think this is okay? This is the default. If we raise this, I have a feeling this would give us more, right? So if I put this at 80, it doesn't actually tell us, but I have a feeling like this is going to give us, like, I don't know how this works. I think that what this is doing, I don't know. 53 doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say everyone's happy so far. Smithing experience, this is the tanning rack stuff. The degree of smithing experience gained when using the tanning rack. Experience is calculated by vanilla formulas and varies depending on the item's gold value. Setting this option to 0 will result in no smithing experience. A value of 0.5 is 50%, and a value of 1 is 100% experience. So I think what this is, if I'm reading this correctly, we're actually getting no crafting experience at all for using the tanning rack, the smelter, and mining. If this is the default. If I'm reading this correctly, we'll get 0 for all of these things. Is that right? Is that what we want? Setting this to 0 will result in no smithing experience. It's calculated by vanilla formulas and varies depending on the item's gold value. A value of 0.5 results in 50% of normal experience, and a value of 1 is 100% of normal experience. So is this how we want it? Let me know. Same thing with mining, same thing with smelting. Now, there's actually a recommendation for the mining feature. It says the amount of experience gained in smithing skill, whenever a player mines ore. This is the actual amount of experience, not a percentage. Setting this to 0 means mining has no effect on smithing skill. Vanilla is actually 0. Recommended if we're using this feature is 15 to 30. So we could set mining to where we actually get smithing experience for mining. Vanilla doesn't give you any smithing experience for mining. We could put some in if we want to. I wish they would tell me the vanilla values here as well, but I think what this is, I think the reason they're not telling me that is because if we set these to 1, they would actually just be vanilla. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? Tanning rack, I could see helping your crafting, but smelting, I don't see as much. Okay? Mining is a whole nother skill anyway. Well, mining actually doesn't affect anything. Mining in vanilla base game, mining doesn't do anything for you. It just gets you the materials. But this could increase your smithing ability if we wanted to put some experience for smithing. Maybe it increases our understanding of the materials we're working with by gathering them ourselves. I don't know. It's one way to look at it anyway. If it's a multiplier, you don't want 0. Exactly, that's correct. Like having these as they are right now, this default right here means that using the tanning rack, using the smelter, and mining ore gives us no experience to smithing at all. That's what the default is for this mod. So what I'm asking is that what we want? Using the smelter in vanilla, I don't know if that actually gives you experience. I think it does. I know using the tanning rack does. So tanning and smelting, I think in vanilla do give you experience. But right now we're getting none. If we set this to 50, or if we set this to 0.5, we would get half of what vanilla normally gets us. If we set it to 1, we would get all of what vanilla normally gets us. That's how those two work. And then this one is actual just raw experience. And we can set it all the way up to 50 if we want to. So this is not a percentage. This is real. Like every ore you mine, for every ore you'd get this much experience. Wait, you get smithing experience from actually smithing only. Okay. Put tanning at like 0.6, smelting at like 2, ignoring mining. All right, Christian, that's what. So Arc says 0.6 on smelting, which would be 60% of vanilla. And, put tanning, 60% on tanning. This is, I'll put what Arc said for now. So 60% on tanning, Arc says 0.2 on the smelt and 0 on mining. Then we have Christian who says 0.6 on smithing. The whole thing is smithing. I'm assuming you mean tanning rack. So you're saying 0.6 on the tanning rack, 0.4 on smelting. So far we're in agreement on the 0.6 tanning rack. Are we in agreement with the smelter then? You can only get 3 ores from each vein, that's correct. And if we did experience for mining, we would get however much experience times 3 for the vein. If we put anything in it. Right now, we're not going to get anything. That's the way vanilla is. You don't get anything. If we want to add something, we can. Keep in mind, we're also getting this formula over here we're working with too. So we're going to be getting less experience from actually interacting with things as well. Okay, so we're good here. 0.6 and 0.2. I have to pause sometimes because I know that there's a delay on the stream. So if you notice that I'm being really quiet, I'm basically just waiting for my comments to get to you. And then I'm also kind of just yabbering and talking to try and eat up time so that my comments can get to you so that we can proceed. That's kind of what it is. I guarantee you guys, not every stream is going to be like this. The first stream is all about setting stuff up. And then when I redo the game and get this working with all the mods the way they're supposed to be, I'll go in and change all these settings back to the way you guys voted for them. So the first stream, really my entire goal for this first stream is to get everything exactly the way it's supposed to be set up for the rest of the streams, for the rest of the series. And then we can do small tweaks here and there as we go. So if we notice that something is really slow, if we notice that dragons are too hard, if we notice that there's just way too many damn bandits attacking us all the time, we can go in and adjust things like that for balance purposes. All right, so it'd be faster, Elias. It absolutely would be faster, but I want to give this idea a shot. This idea that a group of people can formulate a playthrough. I want to see if we can do that. And this is going to be the only episode, guys, where this happens. This sitting around doing settings, this is the only time. The episode 2, stream 3, 4, 5, 6, it's out of the way. We're getting this out of the way right away. So looks like we're good with these settings. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it just the way it is. Now Ark is saying 10 mining experience. So you want 10 mining experience. How about this? Some people say we're good. Some people said 10. I'm going to make 5. We'll start with 5. We get 5 smithing experience for every ore. Okay. Learn to craft. Enable learning recipes. Enables certain equipment types to be learned by deconstructing them at Forge. So what this setting does, and it's on by default, is we can actually learn how to make items by deconstructing them. So if we don't know how to make, like, say, a steel plate, maybe we are not the right level to make that item, but we happen to have it with us. We can deconstruct it, and we can learn how it's built by deconstructing it, right? And we can earn points towards learning how to construct it. And so we'll need to accumulate 100 points of learning. It's called learning points. We'll have to accumulate 100 points before we can craft that item, even if we don't qualify for crafting it. So this is the amount of learning points required before certain items can be crafted. Breaking down most items will result in either 25 or 50 learning points. Setting this value to 0 will remove the learning requirement and allow you to automatically craft these items once you've met any perk requirements. The default is 100 between 2 and 4 items. So in other words, setting this as the default, if we get a hold of something, if we deconstruct 2 of them or 3 of them or 4 of them, depending on what the item is, after deconstructing a few of them, we can learn how to make that thing. I think that's pretty cool. So, you guys were all, yeah, sorry about the comments, guys. I was looking at other things. Okay, 6 and 4 is what you guys said. Sorry. Okay, we're back. Sorry. See, democracy only works when the voters are paying it. The politicians are paying attention. Sorry. Accumulated learning points. Okay, so this is other stuff. I'm not sure. Players' total accumulated points towards learning. Okay. So these are like ancient Nord stuff, Falmer heavy stuff, and Forsworn stuff. This is not stuff that you would normally just learn how to smelt from the skill tree, but we can learn how to make these things by deconstructing them, and this is how many points we've already accumulated. So we can track our points here. That makes sense. Okay. So that's done. Mining and materials, firewood per chop. I don't think this is really all that big of a deal. Firewood per chop. Pieces of firewood received per chop. Vanilla is 2. Yeah, whatever. Maximum piece of firewood per each activation, 6. I don't know what that means, but okay, we'll leave it. Rename materials. So we can rename some stuff. We can have corundum be renamed to copper if we want. We can have malachite, or malachite, I think it's malachite. Malachite be renamed to glass. Or we can rename it to moldavite. Or we can rename quicksilver to mithril. So these are little things that we can do too. And I actually kind of like the idea of renaming copper and quicksilver, just because I never really felt that those two things sounded right to me. But at the same time, I don't know about mining copper. I don't know. So we'll see what that is. Okay, so ingot production, smelting. The ratio of ores to ingots produced at a smelter. Crafting overhaul default is 5:1. And it's what the author considers the best for gameplay balance. Prices and weight have been balanced around a 5:1 ratio and will not change if you select other options. I'm going to leave them alone then. Let's see, gem list, everything is unleveled. Right now we're unleveled. So choose a type of gemstone leveled list to associate with mining. So vanilla says the chance of receiving more valuable gems is tied to the player's level. I don't like that. Unleveled means the chance of receiving more valuable gems is not dependent on our level. I like that. Specific equals certain gems are associated with specific types of ore and are not dependent on the player level. I like that even more, actually. Specific gems unleveled. Yes, that's what we have. That's what's selected. So we're not going to receive good gems just because we're a high level anymore. We're not going to receive bad gems just because we're low level. We have the option, we have the chance to get good stuff out of ores just by mining there. If we find the right spot and we get lucky, we find good stuff. And I like that. Chance that we're going to find a gem, 10%, same as vanilla. Flawless gem chance, the chance that we're going to have it be flawless is 20%, and that's compounded with a 10. So it'll roll this first, 10% chance. Do we get a gem? Do we get a gem? Oh, you got one. Cool. What's the chance it's flawless? 20% from there. So it's pretty rare, but still pretty good. I like it. Miscellaneous balance, I think we could probably leave these alone. I'll look at those later. Mod options, I think we're good here. Okay, complete crafting is done. Now let's talk about dragons. Dragons. Do you guys want Mithril? Mithril, oh yeah, I actually like Mithril, to be honest with you. Maybe you guys have never played the MMO before, but I don't play it anymore, but like I still have a soft spot in my heart for it. If you guys ever played RuneScape, it was like a really old, back in the day kind of thing for me, but still got a little bit of a soft spot for it. I'm gonna rename Quicksilver to Mithril. If I can, there we go. It wouldn't let me click it, so. Quicksilver, oh, it just clicked off of it. What's going on? Click it. Oh, it just takes a second. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we'll leave Corundum alone. We'll leave Malachite alone. We'll leave and we'll change Quicksilver to Mithril. That sounds cool. Okay, deadly dragons. All right, so deadly dragons. This is a mod that alters dragons, obviously. By preset default, it is just vanilla, so it doesn't affect anything by default. You have to actually do something to have it be affected. So, how this works, you can set presets, or we can start with a preset and modify that preset. So we can start with vanilla, go to expert, or insane. To give you an idea of what this does, if I set this to expert, what will happen is that these attributes will be set like this. What does this mean? This means we're going to increase the dragon's health, stamina, and magicka pools by 75%. It's going to be 75% higher than the health, stamina, and magicka normally is. And this is dragons across the board. Doesn't matter the type. Melee damage, same thing. We're increasing the amount of melee damage that they do by 75%. Armor rating, we're going to give them plus 250 armor. Magic resistance, they're going to be 20% more resistant to magic. Magic damage that they do with their spells and their breath, we're going to increase that damage by 75%. That's what expert does. Like, that's pretty crazy, right? I don't like expert. I think it's nuts. Rest in peace, learning points to 60. Did I miss comments? I don't think I missed any comments. Did I miss comments, you guys? I'm sorry. Hold on, set required. Oh, set required learning points to 60. Somebody said that we should do that. And then, okay, we'll go back. Sorry. We'll go back. Don't hate me. 60. Oh, we can't do 60. It goes in 25 increments, which makes sense. So how about we do 75? Fair enough. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Go back to dragons. So, dragons. Do we want to make dragons this hard? Or do we want to start and maybe do it a little bit more custom? Right? We have expert difficulty for the dragons here. This is what expert is. 75, 75. Basically increasing their health, stamina, and magic, or magicka, increasing their melee damage and increasing their breaths and their magic damage by 75%, adding 20% of resistance to magic spells against them, and upping their armor rating by 250. Do we like this? I don't know. Yeah, I'm bumbling. I'm bumbling about. I am. Sorry. I like I said before, I want to reiterate that this is not the way this series will be, all right? It's only the first episode. We need to get this stuff out of the way. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and taking part in this process, because that's the whole point of the series, is that you guys choose how much pain I end up going through. Default is good. You can always bump it if they get too easy. We can change this later. Default for now, make them better later. Okay, makes sense. Cool. Make them better later. I like that. Assaults. This is a new mechanic in Deadly Dragons. I don't fully understand it myself, but as I understand it, dragons will periodically assault places that are around you. They'll periodically will seek you out. They'll periodically, maybe they'll attack a settlement that you're at. And there's a way we can set a timer for this to happen. By default, these are disabled. So having 0 here essentially disables the assaults. I think this is good to have at 0 until we start getting a little stronger, because if we set this at 0, if we set this up now, then we'll start having dragons appear way before we're ready to kill them. So I think this is going to stay default for now. But something to keep in mind for later is that assaults can either have single dragons, 2 dragons at once, or 3 dragons at once. And we can also have weather effects that go with them. I don't know what that does related to dragons. I want to say that the dragons coming in cause the weather to change. I want to say that's what it is. So if it's like a really nice sunny day, it might start thundering and raining when dragons show up or something. I don't know how that works, but that's that. And then we can also later on, and again, I don't recommend this in the beginning, but maybe more like level 20 or level 25 or something, somewhere in the middle, maybe level 30. We can also look into turning Unleveler on. And this will mean that the dragons that show up are not tied to our level, which can be good or bad. It could be dragons that are fairly easy for us to kill because we're level 30 and maybe they're just tuned to like a level 15 person or something. Or it could mean we get legendaries way before we're supposed to. So Unleveler is something we can look at turning on too. But it makes no sense to turn on the Unleveler, and that makes no sense until we're actually strong enough to handle it, I don't think. I think they only assault towns. I think they only assault... No, they assault all sorts of things. This actually right here with safe zones on, this marks all cities at a safe zone. So if we're inside a city border, if we're inside walls of a city, like Whiterun, dragons won't attack when we're inside the city. They might attack when we're outside the city, but they won't attack when we're in there. And this is the default setting, is making this a safe zone. I like that because I don't like NPCs, potentially ones I have to talk to. I don't like them dying because a dragon showed up. So I like that setting. We will look at this later because I think that's something we should look at later. Same thing here, NPCs, we can turn important ones that are critical to quest lines or something like that. We can turn them into essential characters, which means they can't die from dragons. This also includes followers, which is kind of unfortunate. It also includes anybody that we've hired or vendors and quest givers. I don't know if I like that so much, but whatever, it is what it is. And I want to say this is a conversion tool. We can actually convert dragon souls that we collect. We can convert them into perk points. And so it takes 5 souls to get ourselves a new perk point. Or we can change this to be 25 souls for a perk point. Or we can have it be 2, something to look into there. I'm going to leave it as the default for 5 for now, because we're not really going to be using it much, but it's active right now. And currently we have no souls because we've never killed a dragon, but once we start killing dragons more often, we'll start collecting dragon souls. We can use them to unlock shouts, but we can also save them up if we want to, and then use the power of those dragon souls to get ourselves more perk points later and convert them, which I think is pretty cool. So let's see, I'm reading comments now. I'm not going to miss any comments this time. Wait until you are known as the Dragonborn. They won't bother. I got a mod that told me when an NPC dies. Yeah, it's an important NPC. You can revive them with console commands. I can, yes, and I will absolutely revive important people with console commands if they're dead. So I just don't want to have to do that. All right, we're going to leave Deadly Dragons the way it is for now then, because we're not going to really do much with dragons right now, right away anyway, so it's fine. I don't think we need dual sheath redux on, although I do want to turn on shield on back is good. And yeah, it doesn't have any options, so we're fine there. Enhanced blood, I don't think there's any settings we have to do here. Enhanced towns and cities, I don't really think there's much to do there, although I'm going to enable this stuff because I think it's fun to look at. Finis isn't important, footprints isn't important. Frostfall. Okay, now those of you who have been at my live streams and my test streams before know that if you've been to my streams before when I was testing mods, you know how I feel about Frostfall. I essentially don't really like it very much. I'm not that big of a fan of it. Not because of the immersion it brings, not because of the mechanics that it introduces. I'm not a fan of it. Hang on. Uh-oh, my son's crying. Anyway, I have a question for you, and then I'm going to address him, and you guys can talk about it for a bit. I want to talk about exposure ratio and max exposure, right? The default for this is 1. I have it set to 0.7 right now. The default is 1. 1 ratio for exposure rate. I like to turn it down because I think it's too intense. I think it demands too much of the player, and I think that what you end up doing with Frostfall is you end up playing Frostfall. You stop playing Skyrim a lot, and you start playing Frostfall. It's good for a survival playthrough. I'm not sure that's what we're doing, though. So I do want to have that in there. I do want to have, we have to stay warm if we're going up north. I do want to have that mechanic. But I don't know how far into that mechanic I want to go. So I'd like your input as to what you think we should do with Frostfall settings. Do we leave the exposure rate the way it is? I know most of you who have never played Frostfall have no idea what that exposure rate is, but I assure you it's quite quick. It happens very fast, pretty quick. For instance, the very first quest you get in Riverwood is to go get the claw, the golden claw. Up in Bleak Falls Barrow, everyone's freaking gone there before, probably 100 times. If you've played Skyrim, you've been there before. You cannot get to the barrow without having to stop and camp and make a fire. You can't get there before you start freezing to death with the normal settings. It happens too quickly. So unless you really pack really warm, which I get, like I said, realism-wise makes sense, but I think it happens too fast personally, and it takes me out of the overall experience of playing the quest that I'm on. I end up playing Frostfall more than the actual quest. So, yeah. Tell me what you guys think of that. If you want to go full on, we'll go 1.0, see how it feels. Maybe it's too fast. We can adjust it later. Like I said, all these things are adjustable later too. But I'm going to leave it at 0.7 right here. However, the default setting for this is actually rescue. And what rescue means is if you freeze to the point where your exposure goes all the way up and you would normally die from being frozen, rather than that, you simply pass out and you wake up in another random town. Somebody rescued you and took you in and saved you. I don't like this one. It says at the bottom that this one's the most story-driven option. I don't like that because I feel like, why would someone, like for instance, going up to Bleak Falls Barrow, why would someone rescue me and then all of a sudden I end up in Solitude, super far away? Why would that happen? I don't know. So talk amongst yourself really quick. Figure out what you think might be good for these settings for Frostfall. I'm going to go check on my son really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, sorry about that. My wife's got it. He's teething. He's growing teeth. It's not a fun thing, growing teeth. It's just not. Yeah, I think I might have to end the stream just because that's going to get pretty loud, and that might happen. I do hear you about the dragon bone weight. I do hear you. I'm going to drop that. I might have to end the stream now. He's in a lot of pain. Let me check on him really quick again. Talk about Frostfall. Sorry about this, guys. I really am. Sorry. Okay, she's gonna work on him a bit more. There's not really a lot I can do. I mean, you get to the point where kids, like when they're big teeth in the back, when they start coming in, it's like this giant, blunt, sharp object. Like, just, it's incredible. It's just so insane that it just forces its way through your gums, and like he's in so much pain. There's nothing you can really do about it. But my wife's in there. She's holding him. I mean, what am I gonna do? Just stand there and emotional support? Not a whole lot I can do. But if she tells me I gotta go. But for now, she's like, go do your thing. So I'm like, okay, fine. Anyway, so I'm gonna go back and look at the comments really quick. It looks like we're gonna just leave it here for now. I think that's probably fine. Armor and clothing, there's nothing I can do here for this. Effects, these are all just gonna be staying the same, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Immersive armors, citizens, creatures. I don't think there's anything in creatures we could look at. They're going to do additional spawns, so creatures will have their own spawns. And I actually have this off for ASUS. So ASUS is not controlling this. It's going to control itself, which is pretty good. Creature transformation. What is that? Toggles beast transformations of feral vampires and hybrid soul cultists. What? I've never heard of these before. Transformation chance, 75%. Chance of triggering a transformation process for certain creatures. Okay, I'm going to leave all this stuff alone. I have no idea if you guys... I have no idea if you guys know the settings for this and if you have opinions for this. You can leave them in the comments, I guess. But I don't know, I don't know. I see the comment about alcohol, and that's a good one. We actually tried whiskey before on his teeth, on his gums and stuff. It didn't really work really well. Normally we just give him Tylenol, and that kind of does it, but I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do. I'm gonna turn my microphone really low, turn my microphone down, and then just get closer to the mic. Maybe that will, I don't want to say drown him out, but I mean, I can hear him, but I don't necessarily want you guys to hear him. So I'm gonna get as close as I can to this mic, and yeah, with the sound turned down, hopefully it's fine. So okay, so how are we looking with... I'll leave that. I'll play around with that myself. Is there anything else I need your guys' input on for difficulty's sake? Realistic needs and diseases. I think we might leave these alone. I'm not a huge fan of the hunger rates and thirst rates. Again, this kind of becomes one of these things where you're playing the mod. But I am going to turn Die of Thirst on because I feel like that's necessary. Message notification, I'm going to turn that on too. And let's do the reminder interval. I'll leave that alone, fine. I think I'll leave that alone. Now, when we fast travel, do we want to slow down our fatigue? I think I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Slow it up 10%. And thirst rate, I'm actually going to knock these down each by 1. Because like I said, it kind of becomes one of these things where you're playing the mod. I'm going to knock each one of these things down by 1. I'm going to leave fatigue alone. Alcohol and disease. you know, she's a pretty small girl. Bretons, kind of small people. So I'm going to leave these alone. Normally I would take the tripping and the drunkenness, I would knock it down just a little bit so that she can take a little bit more alcohol before she becomes drunk. But honestly, I think it's fine. Food spoilage, we're going to turn that on. That's off by default. Food will never spoil. Now it will spoil. So we can't just leave a bunch of food in our inventory. Eventually it goes bad. And I want to remove spoiled food automatically. So as soon as it becomes spoiled, I want to throw it away. Now there's pros and cons to doing that. If I'm really hungry, eating spoiled food would satisfy my hunger, but it gives me a chance to, like, I might get a disease. So there is some merit to leaving spoiled food in your inventory. I'm going to start by having it off, and if it ever becomes a problem where, like, we're really hungry and we don't have any food, then I'll consider turning it back off. But I'm going to turn it on for now. That's fine. Animation toggles. Do you want to play animations when we eat these stuff? This takes a lot of time. It's good and nice and cool to, like, watch our character eat and all that stuff, but it takes a lot of time. And I think probably what I'm going to do is I think I'm probably going to turn the animations off just because it takes a long time to do these. Like, you can't get out of it either. Now, the last thing I want to ask you guys, and I do see you about the Frostfall, so don't think I'm ignoring you. I see you about the Frostfall wanting 0.5. It is only one person... it is only one person saying that, though, so if other people think we should do Frostfall at 0.5, let me know. But I do see the comment. Do we want shrines to cure diseases? I've never liked this mechanic in Skyrim personally. I always thought that just, you know, praying at a shrine and all of a sudden all my diseases are cured. I never knew about that. I don't know how that works. The thing is, I'm not entirely sure how we would cure our diseases without the shrines, because that's like the only method I ever used to cure my diseases. So we might have to figure that out. But do we want shrines to cure diseases? The vanilla default is yes. Do we want to change this? That's my question here. While you're deciding that, I'm going to go and do the Frostfall setting, because it seems like we've had other people say it. So I'm going to do that. So 5. Okay. Come back down to realistic needs. Potion of Cure Disease. Yes, that does actually solve it, doesn't it? Yeah, duh. I don't think I've ever used the potion, honestly. I think I've always gone to the shrine that's in Whiterun or a shrine that's nearby. There's usually a shrine somewhere. I split my personalities count as 4 people, right? So do we want this? Yes or no? Do we allow shrines to cure diseases, or do they not cure diseases? The vanilla default is yes. Okay, we have 1 vote for no. Only have 1 vote for no so far. If you hunt vampires, you always need Potion of Cure Disease on you. Yeah? Well, unless you have a spell that does it. I think there's a spell that does it. I'm not sure. Like I said, though, I've always done the shrines, so I'd say not cure. That's 2 votes. No, I think that's a no from the same person, is it not? No. Let's see. Okay, that's enough votes. So we'll turn this off. Shrines will not cure diseases anymore. They'll still give all the regular buffs that they normally do, but they won't cure. I am going to turn first-person messages on. Now what this does is it changes the message from saying I feel hungry instead of you feel hungry. It turns it into a personal message, a way for our character to say I'm this instead of the game telling me that I am this. I like that. So I'm going to turn first-person messages on. The second thing I'm going to do is Milk Drinker's Blessing. Milk Drinker's Blessing allows a player to milk cows to obtain milk. I like that. So I'm going to turn this on. So if I find a random farm and I don't have anything to drink, I can milk a cow and get milk. Which sounds pretty cool. I'm going to leave this off for now. This is mortal vampire. I don't know if we're going to end up being a vampire. Maybe we'll end up being a werewolf. Maybe people will want us to be werewolf instead. Maybe people are like, no, don't be a werewolf. Our character wouldn't do that. Or maybe they'll be like, no, we're not vampires either. Maybe we won't do anything. Maybe we'll do both. Maybe we'll be a werewolf for a while, we'll cure ourselves, and then we'll be a vampire for a while, and we'll cure ourselves, or maybe we'll just stay there. I don't know. These are the stuff that we'll figure out later on. But this setting right here makes it to where food, water, and alcohol effects take place for vampire characters too. I don't think they can. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. I don't think they can. I don't think they can die from starvation or anything. They're kind of dead, but it is what it is. Remove camping gear. This option removes travelers' camping gear from crafting menus. I don't want to do that. I like to be able to craft camping gear. It makes sense to be able to do that. Clean the cooking menu. If enabled, the recipes will only show up when you have at least one of the main ingredients to player inventory. I like that. Hide powers. Option removes check needs and drink from the stream from the powers menu. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, I think those are probably good. Alternative set of drunk visual effects. Use this if your graphics card doesn't like the default double vision, which causes the screen to go very dark when drunk. I'm going to use this. Okay. Realistic needs complete. Shrines don't care. If you're a vampire, you have to drink blood once a night, blah, 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 blah. Vampires don't get drunk. Vampires don't get drunk, but with that setting, they would get drunk. But I turned it off. I left it off. Is there anything else? Oh, well, there actually is a lot, guys. Sorry, because we have to go through trade and barter and trade routes. I'm going to go with trade routes first. Trade routes, and we're probably not going to change any of the defaults, but I wanted to kind of introduce you to what trade routes does. Trade routes uses a formula for supply and demand around Skyrim, and it also alters prices depending on how difficult certain things are to get. So if you've ever played the default Skyrim, you'll know that, like, say, I don't know, what's something, a good example? Corundum ingot, we'll say, just because it's something I thought of. A Corundum ingot, to buy one from Bellathor in the general goods store in Whiterun, would cost the exact same amount as it would cost to buy it in Solitude. And that would cost the exact same amount as it would take to buy it in Winterhold. And that's the Skyrim game. All the prices are fixed. Each item is worth the same. Trade routes changes that. It adds an economic system into the game that says, you know what, this city is not really near any resource like that. They would have to import that from afar, and that's probably gonna up the price for that item. And so all these numbers here are sort of changing different prices, right? And they're sort of tweaking the economics of the different resource systems that you would find in shops, the rarity of items and how much they cost depending on where you are, all sorts of things. It's changing all sorts of things. I'm gonna leave it default for now because honestly I don't exactly know how to manage this. I'm not entirely sure. I've never looked at it. I actually installed trade routes this morning, so I haven't had a chance to even play with it yet. But it looks so interesting, and then I had to tweak it for compatibility reasons because I also have trade and barter, which kind of does the same thing, except barter rates, this here integrates with trade routes pretty well. And what this does is it alters the price based on who I am and my status. So if I am, for example, the Jarl of Whiterun, you'd think I'd get better prices in Whiterun. That's not the way it works in vanilla. You just get called Jarl. But with trade and barter, you'd get better prices as a Jarl. Or if I'm going with a different faction, let's say if I'm the leader of a faction. Maybe I've become maybe I am the Archmage at the College of Winterhold, right? I'm the Archmage. Why am I paying full price for training, for the spells? Why am I paying full price for the stuff in the city down below? I'm the Archmage of the college. I should get a bit of a discount because of my influence, right? And so that's this kind of stuff. So if I'm the Thane of a city, if I'm the Thane, not the Jarl, if I'm a Thane, I get 5% better prices inside the hold, right? If I'm a leader of a faction, right? So let's say I'm going to buy something inside the Thieves Guild, right? If I'm going to buy something down below in the Thieves Guild, then there's prices for that. But if I'm a member, I should get 5% better prices. Or I should get 10% better prices as being a member. It's a membership discount, right? If I become the leader of the Thieves Guild, I should get another 5% better. So I'll get 15% better prices because I'm also a faction member, but I'm also the leader. So I kind of doubles in, right? So that's what trade and barter does. And I like that system quite a bit. There's also other factors that go into place. For example, buying and selling items is really worse when we're dealing with a fence. So stolen items becomes less. We get less for that because it's stolen. If we're not dressed, if we walk in naked to a store, they're gonna charge us more because they don't like us being in there naked or something. Which honestly, it's Bellathor. If I'm walking in Whiterun, he should like it. I'm pretty attractive woman. You'd think I could use that as a way of getting better prices, but you can't. I'm reading comments now. I'm actually modding Fallout 4 now. Deleted my game. I think upper their gold a bit by value for a bit. If they have done it for years, they would have a stockpile of cash to some level. I don't know what that means. Up their gold a bit by default. Are we talking about trade routes again, right? Trade supply. So trade supply, this is trade routes now. Trade supply is ensure that merchants supply a minimum amount of worth of gold, a minimum amounts worth of the trade goods that are more plentiful in their region. So only disable this set to 0 if you aren't intending to run any trade routes anyway. And don't mind that there not being enough items for sale to do so. See, I don't know these settings well enough, so it's one of those things I still have to look at. But trade and barter, I like this by default. I think the default settings for trade and barter are pretty good. Independent adjustments. So percentage adjustment to the purchase price of all items and a percentage adjustment to the selling price of all items. I'm going to go ahead and just leave them by default, 0. Price variables, these are all probably pretty good. Solitude buying prices, for example. Prices for items you purchase are higher in Solitude. So it's going to cost us more to buy things in Solitude because they're really far away. They're at the top of this huge hill, and it's like this kingdom where it's just a really expensive city, and things tend to cost more in a really expensive city, right? And so Solitude will end up costing 35% higher because it's just where it is. But the selling prices are also higher. They'll also give us more when we sell things. So it's kind of a trade-off there. So if we buy something, this allows us to really, includes a bartering system that actually could work for profit. If we find a traveling salesman around on a path somewhere and we buy something really cool, like we buy some gems from him, we might be able to sell that at a profit in the city. It's possible because of trade and barter. But we kind of have to figure out how the prices work, how the economies work, and see what their kind of value there is in that. We have Windhelm, Markarth, Riften, and Whiterun all have some higher prices. We get a baseline 0 for the sell, but at 15% higher prices in Whiterun because it's inside the hold. So this kind of... I don't know what this is. Set custom race relations. Customize the degree of racial bias that merchants feel towards your character. These settings will also work for custom races. I don't think we're going to do that, only because we're not... I think I would do this if I was a Khajiit, only because they would probably give me much higher prices, unless I'm a Khajiit, and then they would give me lower prices because I'm also a Khajiit. But I think we're going to leave that one alone. So I think we're going to leave these alone. I think the higher prices in the city sounds like a pretty legit thing. So there's that. And of course we can get, with Percus Maximus installed, we'll also get a lot more value for the perks and stuff that we'll get too, so it's good. Variable Merchant Gold. So this setting determines, I don't know it very well, but it gives select merchants between 50 and 2,500 more in gold based on the lore and location. So trade merchants might have between 50 and 2,500 more gold depending on where they are. Merchants in major cities and trading centers will have more gold on hand than those who are in rural locations, which makes total sense. If we want to increase this variable, if we want to make this even a wider stretch, if we want to make this even more of a big deal, like people in the cities will have even more gold, people in the rural areas may have even less, we can increase this to medium variability or even high variability. And that's something we can look at too. So we'll look at that too. Use custom respawn settings. I don't know what that is. Merchant. Okay, so this is the respawn settings. In the vanilla game, every 2 days, merchants get their inventory back. So if you went to Belethor, for example, and you sold him, you bought a bunch of stuff from him, or you sold him a bunch of stuff, and he ends up with 0 gold in his inventory, you can't just go to your chest at your house and grab a whole bunch of stuff and then just go back to Belethor and sell him stuff, because he doesn't have any money to buy it anymore. So you'd have to wait 2 days and then go back, and he's got 750 gold again, or whatever the gold is value for him. He'd have all of his money back in 2 days. Do we want to change that? Or do we want to leave it the way it is? I don't know. Okay, medium variability is, we have 1 vote for medium. Okay, we have 2 votes for medium. Looks like 3 votes for medium. We'll go with medium then, okay? It looks like we can actually do both. Interesting, I thought it was only going to be 1. Interesting, why would it allow me to do both? Okay, you know what, I'll leave them both on. We'll see what happens, we'll do both. So we're gonna go with medium. I think maybe I'll turn low off. Yeah, all right, we'll turn low off. We'll just do medium. Okay, so do we want to change the respawn settings, or do we like the respawn settings? This is how long it takes for shop owners to get more gold back, basically. Oh, now we have somebody saying both. I love the delay in the stream. Like I do something and then all of a sudden it just, you know what up? We'll leave this both. I think I'm gonna leave this custom. I think I'm gonna leave this as standard for now too, and we'll see how we like that. But now these are all perks as well. So cost to invest in things, default is 500. These are all default vanilla values right now. We can look at changing that if we want to. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this. So it's fine. Trade and barter. Anything else we want to do? I don't think so. I think we're good, guys. I think all the settings are taken care of now. Wet and cold. These are just graphical things, basically. We're not going to do summer or winter. NPCs. Okay, so drips, soggy feet, go home. NPCs will return home when it rains and will also return home during a blizzard. Oh, I like that. But workers will ignore the rain. I like that too. Okay, we'll leave that. So if it's really bad weather, it makes sense that people would go to their houses. I don't know. Kind of makes sense, right? Uh-oh. Sun's awake again. Oh. Sun is awake again. Well, it's good, because we're nearing the end of the stream anyway, because, again, like I said, this is all about getting the settings right, and then I have to go in and try to replay the game and get all the mods sorted out anyway. But I like this. These are good settings. I think we made some progress here. Populated lands and roads. I'm going to leave these on just because I like how busy it looks. I like having all those NPCs. Pick up books is a really great mod. If you haven't had it before, it's really great. It allows you to pick up books without reading them. I like this because I like to game the system a little bit. I like to... Oh, man. I need to go, guys. I like to game the system by essentially reading spell books, reading skill books when I'm already a high skill, because it's way harder to get the skill level later on than it is to get it earlier. So I would like stock up on skill books, and then when I'm like already 60 or 70 in that skill, I would just read a bunch of books and I would be up high. I like to do that, but I've actually changed the way that works now, so you don't get as much experience for books anymore. You get experience for books, but you don't get a full level anymore. So I've changed that too. So I can't hack that anymore. Okay. So I'm gonna go take care of my son. Thanks for watching the stream, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for your input. This worked out really well. I know it will be a lot more interesting the next time. It definitely will be way more interesting next time, because we'll be actually playing the game instead of doing settings. But this is our character. Her name is Hana. She's a Breton. We're gonna be doing some magic, and I think she's probably going to. Oh, we just got a new menu. Of course we did. What's the new menu? What's the new menu? It says we got a new one. I don't know. Well, it's okay. I think it's going to be okay. So I will take care of getting the mods sorted out, getting everything worked up, and yeah, we'll see you guys for the second stream some other time. I don't have this as a set schedule, remember, so the stream will take place at random times. But I think for the second stream, it might be a good idea to do it roughly around the same period of time. But I don't know when that will be. My work schedule is hitting me really hard. And on top of that, like, I still have other series that I haven't been attending to that I really need to attend to. So I did want to start this series as fast as possible. It's just eating me inside. I just had to do it. So the series has officially begun, but I don't know when the stream number 2 will be. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go take care and tend to my son. I keep saying these things, but like then I can't actually do them. Like I said, I would have a Kerbal episode by the end of the week, and I wasn't able to do that. So I feel terrible about saying I can do something and then not being able to do it. So I'm just gonna say that I don't know when the next stream will be, because that's the only honest answer I have. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate the feedback, and you know, this has been great. I'll see you next time. Cool. Bye-bye.